Wow. You're all still recovering from that, aren't you?
Shook.
Shook. You're all shook up, aren't you?
Uh-huh. You're all blue suede shoes, aren't you?
You're all living in the ghetto, aren't you?
The ghetto has one place to stay, Heartbreak Hotel.
And you know what you do in the Heartbreak Hotel? Jailhouse Rock.
Because you're a felon hiding from the law.
Because you might have a suspicious mind. That's because this is the anti-penultimate episode of L.A. Meekly. Can you believe it? And for all the people who didn't listen all the way to the end of the last episode, the true believers as they're known, surprise.
Yeah.
This is the anti-penultimate episode.
They don't know what that means, but they'll have to Google it and AI will tell them.
Anti-penultimate was a character in Weapons.
Yeah. It's a pasta from Italy.
Yeah. Okay, so we're having the anti-penultimate. Next month, we're going to have the primo.
And then the prima donna.
The final episode will be the secondi, which it's just going to be a big unseasoned piece of meat.
That's what this podcast is. No salt.
That's what this podcast has always been.
Yeah.
One big unseasoned piece of meat. What sort of meat is it? That's for you to decide. But this is L.A. Meekly.
This is L.A. Meekly. It's true.
For 3 more months, it will be the only Los Angeles history podcast. Trademark, copyright, Disney protection. Going in the Disney vault. We're going back in the Disney vault.
We're trademarked by Walt Disney's head, so it's still alive. The trademark still exists. 75 years after his head dies, then you can start using the L.A. Meekly name.
If you want to get the rights to L.A. Meekly, you have to pry it out of his cold, dead teeth to use it. What happened to the Disney vault? Is the Disney vault just like open because of Disney Plus, or
Probably.
is the only thing in the Disney vault Song of the South? And that's it. And like a few scenes from Dumbo.
I'm sure a few scenes from Dumbo. I'm sure there's some World War II stuff. They're like, turn the lights off in the vault.
No, they're going to need that again.
You know, I guess it's all, I'm trying to think of what's missing.
If the computer who wore pants is out in the public,
oh yeah,
then something has gone wrong in the Disney vault.
Disney's lost. They've lost a big. I think what's missing is a lot of the...
When Disney's vault was opened up, all the evils of the world came out. And all that was left inside was the most dangerous thing of all, the computer that wore tennis shoes.
I think what's missing from their vault is a lot of made-for-TV things, but probably just tied up in like... They use that Beatles song when they shouldn't have.
Don't they own the Beatles now? They had all those Beatles documentaries.
Right, you're right.
Yeah, Disney owns Beatles.
They're bigger than the Beatles.
They own sliced bread also, and Jesus.
I was about to say, if A equals B and B equals C,
and J equals Jesus, then Disney inherited the earth. So for those who are just joining us, my God, that's like, oh, I just sorry, I missed the Titanic. I got airlifted so I wouldn't miss the rest of the cruise. Hey, why is it so cold? Hey, why is there so much Leonardo DiCaprio on this boat?
I thought the Titanic was a boat. I guess it's a submarine.
It's about to be a submarine.
It's about to be a sub of a lot of things.
So this is the podcast where we talk about Los Angeles history. It's the only podcast that talks about Los Angeles history. Soon there will be no podcast talking about Los Angeles history.
And what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Read a book?
Yeah. How are you going to learn?
Yeah. Ali in a Minute only does so much. He's burning himself out on content. You can only go to him so much.
Yeah, you can only get so many paid sponsorships for evil corporations. He can only provide you with so many, Greg.
He can only tell you which AI sites to go to so many times.
He can only read off screen from Wikipedia so many times in a week, Greg. So many times. It feels so good to be able to say this freely.
It honestly feels like we're sitting with our robes open.
Well, I mean, I literally
robe open right now.
It is April Fool's Day after all. That's another thing we forgot. It's April Fool's Day.
All this is a joke.
This is all a joke.
Yeah, it's all a fib.
Yeah, there's no place like home. You were dead all along or something.
That Dorothy wakes up from the dream like, you idiot. You fool.
You fools, you blew it up.
You blew it up. All the stuff you saw in your dream, you've been lampooned. You're a nobody. Welcome back to Sepia Town.
Welcome back to the Great Depression.
You have to share your shoe with your sister. You can only eat half the shoe today.
Bet you were living fat on all of those buttercups or whatever you were eating in all those poppy seeds. Or no, it's not poppy seeds. It's just a field of poppies that they go in and they get tired, right? Uh-huh. Well, they're eating like monkey wings and stuff.
Monkey wings.
People weren't looking.
They're eating like munchkin legs. Yeah, they're eating munchkin legs like it's turkey legs. Walking around the fair.
Before we get into anything that's relevant to LA history. We just cut, the ropes are open. We are loose. We are wild.
Dangling.
We are welcoming in new patrons.
Whoa.
Even again, this is literally the people who got a helicopter ride onto the Titanic.
Submarine Titanic.
So, well, first she was already on the Titanic, but she bought a better room on the Titanic because Joanna Linkhorst, she upped her amount that she gives us on Patreon.
Love her so much.
Which I think she did before she found out and then was like...
Yeah. Now she's going to charge us $10 a month.
Oh, I can't wait for the class action lawsuit.
Oh, it's going to be
Did
great.
you or someone you know join the LA Meekly Patreon between the years of 2017 and 2020, whatever this is?
Joanna runs the Friends of Rockhaven. She's part of the team, or I think she is the team that's protecting...
She's a part of LA Meekly history.
She is part of LA Meekly history, and she's protecting Rockhaven, which is incredibly important.
And she's protecting LA Meekly.
And she's just a nice lady, and treat her nice if you see her on the street.
Yeah, well, guess what?
What?
She's dying on the Titanic. But we also have not just her. We have a brand new person who must feel even worse than Joanna did.
They're in the boiler room. They're shoveling coal.
This person is John Wood.
Hi, John Wood.
Yeah.
It's John Woo's cousin.
John Wood.
John Wood. Yeah, John Wood.
Yeah, I was pronouncing it wrong.
Thank you, John. I can't wait to send you a postcard when it's my turn.
It's not, again,
when it's my turn. When it's my turn.
By the time he finds out that we're ending, you're never going to be able to send him.
I'll end him. Okay. Not a threat. Comedy license.
Comedy license to kill, though. So you two still, even though the show is ending,
yes,
the Patreon will not be ending. We will still be your postcard pals for as long as you want. So you can join.
I bought postcards. I bought all these stamps. You
better believe it. I have so many stamps. What am I going to do?
Eat them?
What am I going to do? Start a stamp collection? Have a
stamp kleptomaniac?
A stamp conniption? Is that what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a collection of stamps that's just the same stamp over and over because I couldn't resell them?
Yeah.
Because they're worthless?
I'm living in Vertigo, but instead of Kim Novak, it's a book of stamps. And I make it wear a wig? Is that what?
And I took it to the top of a church in San Jose?
Yeah. Take a flying leap. You're the flying nun, right? That's how Jimmy Stewart... You're a flying nun, right?
Oh, Mary, please jump off this church for me. Mary, put on this wig. I'm horny. Mary's so horny.
You know, we came up with our Jimmy Stewart voice before I realized that in It's a Wonderful Life, his wife's name is Mary and his brother's name is Harry. I didn't know that when it came up.
Yeah, I say Mary because that's
Mary, Harry.
Because that's like I've seen many. I almost called him John Woo. John. What's his name? I can't think
Frank Capra, Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
You got John Woo in my head. I've seen many Jimmy Stewart movies.
Yes,
but all I can think of when I think of Jimmy Stewart is It's a Wonderful Life.
Sure.
And Merry
Christmas, Mary.
Mary, you old Mary. Why don't you marry me? Merry Christmas, I'm horny. So you can join, 3 episodes left. You can join our Patreon, patreon.com/LA Meekly. Continue being our postcard pals. You will get a postcard handwritten from us every single month for as long as any of you still want it. We got it.
Yeah, we got it. We'll send you a postcard. You're going to get something from Fosselman's ice cream shop.
You're going to get something with John. I keep wanting to call him John Woo. Why do I keep wanting to call Jimmy Stewart John Woo?
Can you imagine Jimmy Stewart in a John Woo movie, though? Slow motion jumping with 2 guns.
Mary, I got to kill all these monks. Mary, where did all these...
Mary, the safety's off, Mary.
Mary, where'd all these ninja stars come from? Mary, I'm bleeding. So... if you haven't picked up on it, and for those who missed it, yes, LA Meekly is careening towards the station for its final episode. We're doing this episode, one more episode, and then a final goodbye episode. So for that, what?
We're Lenny and Of Mice and Men. We're like, we're going to go on forever. Then we're not going to go on forever.
Mary, we're going to go forever. Mary, I bought all these mice.
Mary, I bought all these calendars, Mary. What am I going to do with them if you kill me?
So for this final episode that is coming up, we want you listeners to send us final questions for us, or final memories, or final meal requests.
Does the podcast have a will? Can I take out an insurance policy on the podcast?
Who inherits all of the... We just have so much. I can't even pick one thing.
I mean... We're sitting in a warehouse full of merch right now. Yeah. And one side is merch and the other side is riches.
All of the things we've talked about in LA Meekly, every relic from LA history belongs to us in this giant warehouse. And we're
Bob's big boy right here.
Big Boy.
I'm sitting on his dead remains right now.
So send us questions that we can read on the air, comments, anything you want to know about us or the show or any last things about LA history.
Yeah.
Send it to us for the June episode. So la.meekly@gmail.com or on Instagram, la_meekly, or the website, lameeklypodcast.com. We got to fill content. I mean, we can't just, there's only so many clips we can play. You know what's interesting? I think I'm planning musical numbers.
Oh, okay. I should do the same thing.
Yeah, plan musical
I'm gonna
numbers.
plan
Original. I could do parodies. You do originals.
Okay, you have a musical numbers. I have like desk pieces I want to run. Deathbed Confessions.
This is going to be the variety show we've always
wanted a variety show. This will finally be it. And then we're like, I'm tired.
I know I definitely have one musical number.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I've got 3 musical numbers in me for this final episode.
Wow.
So that's a little
that explains the top hat and the cane right next to you.
Oh, you weren't supposed to see that.
I'm practicing.
That explains the Frankenstein costume.
Don't monster mash in my hood, dude.
Oh, that explains the swastika. What?
What
yeah,
swastika?
I'm doing the producers. So
Noon Hogan's Heroes.
I am watching Hogan's Heroes.
You are.
So before we do get into this episode, though, let's talk about something we did in March. A thing of the month from Smarch.
Lousy Smarch weather.
The Smurf month.
I ran my first 5K. I was part of the
right,
LA
you
5K that started in Dodger Stadium and ran through Elysian Park. I don't know if you know this about Elysian Park and Dodger Stadium. Very hilly, and I've been practicing on a lot of flat. So it was kind of a lot, but I did my first 5K, and I've been training for it.
Wow. How many miles is 5K?
3 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I ran 3 miles nonstop. It took me 40 minutes, and I'm a better person for it and better than you.
40 minutes to do 3 miles. That's pretty good, right?
I think so.
Was that like a 30-minute mile?
Yeah, 30-minute mile. Yeah, that's
what's a good mile?
I've always heard that 10 minutes is
10
what
minutes.
in my
Okay,
head,
so-
but I heard that in high school, which was
Wow,
what,
it took you
1971.
40. I heard the 10-minute mile too, but I think it took me like 70 minutes to do a mile.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
So
think
you're doing pretty good.
yeah. The stopwatch only goes to 10 minutes. After that, I don't know. Yeah, so I did a 5K, LA 5K. It was great. And I'm planning on doing with my running coach Olivia, gonna do a 10K in September. Getting ready for that now.
How long is a marathon? A full marathon?
26 and some
my
change.
God.
I know.
And you're going to do that next year.
I'm doing that tonight, brother.
I'm. You know what? I'm in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right now, actively right now. Oh, I gotta go. They're handing me a lighter. I gotta go.
A lighter.
A lighter. I don't know.
Take this lighter that belonged to Zeus and run it to Los Angeles.
You don't want to know what he was using it for. Candle stuff.
Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Sounds horrible.
Heroic? Admirable?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, you're an American hero.
Yeah.
You're a Trump's American hero is what you are.
It's like a bargain bin hero. Yeah, I'm like Kid Rock. Yeah, so I did a 5K. It was great. It was great that it was over.
You should do a turkey trot. Why don't you do a turkey trot? That's like...
Turkey.
I mean, you're turkey trotting.
Can you do a jive turkey trot?
Yeah, there's 2 events. I mean, you walk around the street and we all say, look at that turkey trot. So you might as well get a medal for doing it.
Yeah, it's true.
You should do it. Do a turkey trot. There's one. You do the turkey trot.
Do
Greg,
the turkey.
do the turkey trot.
There's
right
the
now.
mashed potato.
Greg, put on the top hat and do the turkey trot right
There's
now.
the monkey. There's the twist. There's the turkey trot.
Did you say the mashed potato? The mashed potato goes with the turkey trot. There's also the mac and cheese.
What do you do?
Don't forget to do the pumpkin pie. So, I did many things. I wanted to talk about so many.
The world.
I've done so many things because I have my list that I made for the new year of things to do in LA before I die, which is at the end of 2026. Yeah. But I could talk about going to Norman's Guitar, which was really fun. Sure, I could talk about going to the Nethercut Museum, which was really fun.
I didn't know you did the Nethercut.
Yeah, I did the Nethercut.
Let's just say it's called Daniel Cut now.
Let's just say I got the extended Nethercut. Okay. You know what they had at the Nethercut Museum was the Tool Time mobile from Home Improvement.
Get out. Yeah. Really?
I was thinking, is that the catchphase?
No, it's a different show.
Say again, say to me like you're me that you saw the Tool Time.
I saw the Tool Time time machine.
Okay, let me stop you right there. I saw the Binford Mystery Wagon. Say that you saw the Tool Time
belt.
It's not a tool belt. It's the full traveling van full of tools.
Okay.
Say okay, and scene.
I saw the I saw the Tool Time Tool van.
That's what you
Was
should
it
have
worth
said.
it?
It was.
Was it worth it to put more words in my head than I could remember?
I saw the Tool time
machine.
Tim the Tool Man time trap. Tim the Time Traveler Taylor.
It's okay. It's Tim Allen and Peabody and Sherman, and it's
And-
all their
and
attempts.
Doctor Who.
And Doctor Who, and they try to. It's sort of like they take him at a different time and they throw a tennis ball and try to leave him, and he just keeps catching up.
He keeps coming back and saying, "What's wrong? Why are all these woke? Why are all these woke time travelers trying to leave me behind?"
Yeah.
But look, that's not what I'm going to choose.
Okay.
I'm choosing something that you were supposed to be there for, but you waited too long to buy tickets.
The birth of your child.
We sold out. Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
We sold out.
Stadium seats.
We filled the SoFi.
I did.
Silent movies that they show at the Hollywood Heritage Museum.
I really
Greg.
wanted to go to that too.
Which is the barn across the street from the Hollywood Bowl, which is where, like, I still don't quite like they filmed the Squaw Man or something. I think that's what, like, it was one of the early, it was in a lot of movies, but it was like where they filmed the early silent movies. And it also was like a gym for a while for like celebrity, like it was like a movie gym.
Oh, so everyone was wearing like gray sweaters?
Yeah. And they were all holding just big potatoes. And they looked like 70-year-old men and they were like 25. Yeah, a gym from the 30s. Yeah.
Okay. James.
But it used to be, then it was known as James. But they show silent movies. It's a museum, but they show silent movies there like once a month. And they have a live, it was just I thought it was going to be like an organ, but it was just like a keyboard player to play along because it's silent movies. And they had a live 60 millimeter projection, which we are sitting right next to.
Oh,
so the movies we saw were The Sheik and Man Trap.
No, Man Trap.
And
Clara Bow.
More like Clara Boo. So yeah, we were sitting right next to the projector and I was so tired during the Sheik that I kept like nodding because I was leaning against a prop from the movie Cleopatra. I was leaning against a giant jackal that like,
how Hollywood of you.
I know that Elizabeth Taylor was like writing or something and I was like falling asleep against it. But it was I don't quite get the appeal of Rudolph Valentino, to be quite honest.
Well, you had to be there. He was browner than anyone had ever been before. So you had to be there.
And that's by 16 millimeter standards.
I just re-listened to I'm listening to a book. Let me find the title of it because it's actually really good. I mean, it's
The Art of the Deal?
Do they serve beer in hell? Has anyone heard of this?
Who moved my cheese?
This was Hollywood is what I'm listening to from Carla Valderrama. And it's a lot of old Hollywood stories, but she talks about Rudolph Valentino and puts a lot of stuff in context and perspective. It's really, it makes sense when...
I think he works better as a still image than a moving picture.
Sure.
Because he's kind of goofy looking, like when he smiles on film. Have you seen a Rudolph Valentino movie?
I've seen clips of The Sheik, but nothing more than that.
Yeah, first off, it's wildly problematic.
The movie The Sheik? With the title The Sheik?
Well, interestingly, what you think is the problematic part actually isn't.
Whoa.
Yeah, like that part.
They underpay workers in the movie. It turns out a lot of them are slaves.
And that's the good thing. Him playing a quote unquote Sheik actually isn't a problem, as you find out at the end.
Yeah.
They tell you at the end, don't worry, this isn't problematic. Viewers of the future, don't worry, this is not problematic. But
you sign on for it.
But there's a lot of like I kidnapped her in the desert and I made her, like, I guess the book is more graphic, but don't think I didn't check that out immediately. But anyway, I think he's kind of goofy looking in a moving picture.
Sure. You're not a housewife from the 20s.
Prove it.
Watch the way I vacuum.
Look at my beehive.
See how much cottage cheese I eat. And then tell me that I'm not a housewife from the 1920s, Greg.
Yeah, get a load of these buns and tell me I'm not a housewife. But yeah, so they do this every month and it helps support the museum and keep them open. It's really cool. It's we were by far the youngest people there, and then
everyone else was ghosts.
Rudolph Valentino was there, which I thought was weird.
Strange.
Yeah, and then there was just a bunch of dusty skeletons when I woke up.
Yeah.
But at the end, the guy who was like emceeing, it was like, come back, support the museum, especially if you're under 40 years old and like multiple people looked over at us.
Or whatever the record scratch, whatever the 60 millimeter film version of a record scratch is.
But hey, joke's on them. I'm
almost 40.
I'm not far below that line, Sonny.
You're knocking on the door.
So yeah, go support the Hollywood Heritage Museum.
Yeah.
It's a fun place in the museum. The movie nights are fun.
Yeah.
But now, Greg,
yes,
let's finally get to this episode.
What are we even talking about here?
Okay, so we have to explain.
No, we
were trying to come up with like...
Listen, we don't have to explain to anybody.
Yeah,
we're our own bosses.
Episode over. I don't have to teach you anything.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Because we were trying to figure, because we have, as we discussed, this episode and the next one are regular episodes, and then we have a final goodbye clip show,
and
three musical,
we
three
blow each
plus
other's brains out. Yeah.
3+ musical, brains out. Heated rivalry still in my mind from last month, but will they, won't they?
We 69 each other's brains out.
Metaphorically,
mathematically.
But we are trying to think of like what would be a good last episode topic. What would be a good, like we were thinking like, what did we want to fit in while we still can? And then we thought like, well, why don't we just do 2 episodes of all the things we want to cram in before the show ends?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a junk drawer sort of, but like, it's just topics that like we want to do before it's too late.
It's not a junk drawer episode. Whatever the term is for your house is burning down and you grab the photo albums.
Well, the phrase I kept thinking was everything must go.
Everything must go. Yeah.
We're a weird lamp store on Ventura Boulevard.
That's right. We're a mattress store that somehow isn't a front.
Yeah. And there's only one.
Yeah, but we lasted a week like they should.
But yeah, there's just so many topics that we couldn't choose. So we're going to do all the things that we wanted to. And we thought like, is this a cop out? Is this kind of cheap? But then you know, it's our show. We could do what we want.
Yeah. I've been saying this for 13 years.
It's my party. I can cry if I want to. It's my potty. I can cry if I want to.
And I will cry. The size of this, it's almost a phantom sized.
Okay.
He laid the biggest thing.
You weren't here.
I was here. I had my eye against his butthole and I was watching it crown.
He held it in for 2 days and he dropped a human sized load into his litter box before you got here. My hero.
My hero. And I'm destined for that poo one day.
So I've got 3 topics. I wanted to do a bit of a throwback to the early days when we would each do 3 topics.
I was thinking about that the other day and how insane that was.
It's crazy. It's really crazy to think. Hey, we'll revisit it in a couple of months. I barely
have enough to do a bad about 1. I used to get B- on 3 of these.
Why give one topic a B- when I could give 3 an F-?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got 3. You've got 1.
I've got 1.
One of mine is very short, which I'm going to do right now.
Okay, do it.
So, okay, I had to, this was one of the ones where I had to reread it in my head to remember what I was going for.
Okay.
It's a god-awful small story to share to the boy with the mousy hair. That's me. But his Greggy is yelling no. And his wife has told him to go.
Is this one of the musical numbers that's planned for later?
Make it 4.
Okay.
But his cat is nowhere to be seen. He dropped a big one. Now he talks through his windscreen. I skipped some verses. Take a look at the lawman shooting at the right guy. Oh man, wonder if he'll ever know. He's on this god-awful show. It's the Man From Mars Bandit.
You put a lot of work into that.
Greg, you have no idea.
You refilled
I had to take a sip of water to me after that. Because I started at the beginning. I was like, well, I know the first line.
Yeah.
And then I got 2 lines in. I was like, wow, there's a lot to go before I get to the part about Mars. Yeah. So I'm just going to skip it. Oh, here, speaking of the cat that's nowhere to be seen.
What is it? His cue?
Yeah, this is when Phantom does a harpsichord solo. So get ready. So this is the story of the Man From Mars Bandit. Do you know this story?
No, I don't.
Greg? Very exciting. So I think you're going to like this story. It's really a short one.
Okay.
The place, a random supermarket in the San Gabriel Valley. The time, early 1951.
Okay.
People are shopping, buying their disgusting 50s food like mayonnaise on a pickle or whatever, minding their own business. Then in walks a man dressed head to toe in tight black clothes, black boots, black hood, black gloves, a skull and crossbones on each side of his shirt, a leather football helmet with a skull on it and 3 metal antennas sticking out of it, a gas mask and goggles, holding a 12-gauge shotgun, a bandolier of ammo across his chest, and a .38 revolver on each hip. He proceeds to rob the place and flee.
He robbed Flea, the bassist for Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yeah, and he ran to the edge of the San Gabriel Valley. This was the Man from Mars
Insane.
Bandit.
I've never heard of this. It sounds like the Punisher came to the valley and was like, I need to get donuts.
The San Gabriel Valley.
San Gabriel Valley,
the false valley.
Yeah.
The imitation valley.
Wait. The bigger one is the older one?
The Poor Man's Valley.
Poor Man's Valley.
The Poor Man's Valley filled with rich people? Yeah, that's the one. So an eccentric robber of supermarkets in the San Gabriel Valley is who the Man from Mars Bandit was, who struck 5 times over 6 months in 1951, netting over $55,000.
Wow.
Who was this literally masked man? It was later found out his name was Forrest Ray Colson. He was 27 years old during his crime spree, but he had grown up in Hollywood and always wanted to be a hero with, quote, lots of girls.
Okay, that's the reason to be a hero, by the way.
There goes my... This is the 5th musical number. He, Phantom, put on the tap shoes.
It's time, buddy.
It's time. Come on, we practiced this. He dropped out of high school at age 16 and joined the Marines from 1941 to 47, but never saw any fighting, nor did he earn any medals that might have made him into a hero.
Yeah.
After the Marines, he was frustrated, but still desperate to be considered a hero and get girls, so of course, he became a cop.
Right.
He joined the Monterey Park Police Department, where his new uniform actually did get him girls. Believe it.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I know, girls love a Man from Monterey Park.
It's true. This is unfortunately very true.
Unfortunately true. In fact, he got too many girls because he started skipping work to go canoodle with these girls, for which he was fired from the Monterey Park Police Department.
Too bad your job isn't full-time canoodler. Then you could have made some money and survive.
Were we talking about noodles before? The antipasta?
Yeah.
He was the anti-penultimate canoodler. But this was no problem. There's always room somewhere for a disgraced cop. So he joined the Glendora Police Department.
Nice, that's where they go.
Where he proceeded to get up to Glendora Police Department, get fired from Monterey Park Police Department, enlist today, where he proceeded to get up to his same old tricks and was fired again after just 2 months. When he was brought into the office to be fired, he took out his gun and put it to his head and said, I bet you don't think I got guts enough to pull the trigger.
Whoa.
You want to dare me? They didn't dare him, but they did still fire him.
Okay.
Now, without a job, he moved back in with his mom in Oklahoma City, but he would often drive all the way from Oklahoma City to Monterey Park to beg for his old job back.
My! What? They don't have cops in Oklahoma City?
Have you been to Oklahoma City, Greg?
Lawless.
It's lawless. It's mostly run by barbecue rubs. The mayor is just a tub of barbecue sauce, Greg. But at some point...
And it's still racist.
It's still somehow more racist than a white mayor. But at some point during this pathetic period of his life, he snapped even further and decided to don a new uniform, the uniform of the Man from Mars Bandit. Between each of his robberies, he would drive back to Oklahoma City to lay low until the heat was off him, but it's suspected that he did have a hideout somewhere in the San Gabriel Valley where he hid all of his cash.
Wow.
Cash that presumably is still out there because he was never able to return to it after October 12th, 1951. That day, he walked into the boys market, which is mistake number one.
I liked a boy, please. One boy for daddy.
Oh, Mr. Epstein. Old man Epstein runs Boys Market at 120 East Valley Boulevard in San Gabriel. That's where Boys Market was. He goes in the full Man from Mars costume, robs the place for $13,675. However, The clerk had pushed an alarm, and 2 cops just happened to be a block away when the call came in and sped over. They walked inside the boy market just as Coulson was stepping out of the cashier's office with a sack full of cash, and one of the officers immediately shot him and hit him in the left side of the head.
Wow.
Coulson died 2 hours later at LA County General Hospital. His outfit is still on display at the San Gabriel Police Department as a testament to maybe the best dressed criminal LA has ever seen.
Okay, we've been doing this for 13 years. We have over 100 episodes. This is the first time that I wanted to leave immediately to drive
go to
somewhere.
the police department.
Go to the police department.
Well, I interestingly, because after each recording, I have always thought I need to go to the police right now.
Yeah.
It's really every time I hang out with you, I get that feeling.
It's almost strange.
It's like clockwork.
Yeah.
Clockwork Orange, which is like the kind of life you live, which is why I need to go to the police department.
Drink some milk. You'll get over it.
You'll get over it. You'll get over it, Droog. So now that was just a short little. I've had the Man from Mars Bandit written down for so long. I had to, but I was like, that's it.
You could have literally fit that anywhere. And I would have accepted it.
So we're talking about diners today, and you heard about the Man from Mars Bandit.
He dinered.
Diners died in and died. So my next story, we're moving on. There's only one kind of camping I ever want to take part in, Greg. Van de camping.
That's very true. This is the only camping I can get you to agree to is gaining weight. Putting on some pounds for...
Putting on the Ritz? Is that?
Yeah, putting on the Ritz.
Which is what I call putting a Van de Kamp donut on a Ritz cracker. I'm going to be talking about the Van de Kamp Bakery now. Something, again,
one of my favorite things.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were.
I mean, the building.
The building
is one of my favorite things. The thing.
Wait till you hear what in its glory day, though.
Okay.
You're going to wish that you had...
Shock me. You're going to wish that you were bread. You're going to wish that you were yeast.
We're going to wish that you had never been sliced, Greg. So this story begins with a man named Lawrence L. You guessed it, Frank. Frank's mom.
Oh, right. I forgot the second part of the thing.
There are multiple. This story splits off into so many weird things.
Yeah, this is the octopus of segments.
Which they used to do. They used to bake a wonderful octopus that you could, a powdered octopus that you could get at any time of day. So Frank's mom was from Austria and his dad was from New York City. So he was, you guessed it, Jewish.
Frankly, very Jewish.
Franklish. So his grandpa had moved the famly to Milwaukee, an 80-year-old old stomping ground
for 2 days.
2 days where you ate a bratwurst and threw up.
Yep.
In 1860, his grandpa had moved the family there to open up a meat market, but his dad took things even further and moved them to Deadwood, South Dakota to open a meat market of his own.
To open a gun factory.
Who's the main guy from Deadwood who's like in nothing else?
The actor?
The actor.
Who's in everything?
No, the character. What other shows was the character from Deadwood in?
You mean Timothy Olyphant, who's in everything?
No, the main guy. Wasn't Timothy Olyphant wasn't he just like a side? I've never seen Deadwood, but I know the main guy he's like an Irish guy.
Oh, that's Timmy O'Houlihan. No, that's... He does a voice for Kung Fu Panda. Let me look it up because I know his name. Shane.
Oh, Jack Black.
Shane something.
Shane Black.
It's Shane something, and everyone's screaming the name right now. Oh, it's Ian McShane. That's what it is. Ian McShane.
Yeah, I don't remember what my joke was going to be, but they make him in a factory.
Wow, we've missed out. Wow,
what could have been?
Tragedy?
Because you said Kung Fu Panda, and that just wiped my mind clean.
Can we watch Kung Fu Panda?
Can we please? Speaking of someone who would like to go Vanda camping with me. Me and Poe, Greg. So little Lawrence and his parents actually moved briefly to Sierra Madre here in Los Angeles County because his mom was sick and needed to move to a place with fresh air.
And the best air actually is in Sierra Madre.
Post wildfire, though.
Post wildfire.
Yeah. Didn't work though. She died in 1890.
Well, literally the first person who's ever died from
Sierra Madre. What? She died from air?
Overdosed.
Lawrence and his dad moved back after this to the Midwest, where Lawrence fell in love with a woman named Henrietta, you guessed it, Jewish. Henrietta Van de Kamp.
Okay. All right. Now we're on track. Now the veil's been lifted.
Yeah. The Ian McShane has been lifted.
Yeah.
So Henrietta and her parents were from Milwaukee, but her grandparents had come to America from the Netherlands. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, maybe because he remembered how nice it was, even though it was where his mom died, Lawrence and Henrietta decided to move to Pasadena in 1912. not far from Sierra Madre.
Okay.
And in 1913, they were married.
Wow.
But Henrietta had a brother named Theodore Van de Kamp, and he had the most boring description of anyone I've ever given on this show. He worked at an insurance company in Milwaukee.
Wow. It might as well just be a smear of white paint on snow.
Wasn't that Lenny and Squiggy's job? So he wanted out of that terrible Squiggy-esque fate.
Yeah.
So in November 1914, he and his other sister, Marion, moved out to Los Angeles to be near Henrietta and her new husband, Lawrence.
Okay.
So now this generation of the family was all reunited in LA, and the four of them hung out a lot. But Lawrence also had a brother out here named Ralph, not from Ralph's. And Ralph had a potato chip business that he gave Lawrence a job working for. They sold potato chips to hotels and restaurants. But one day, Lawrence, his wife Henrietta, her brother Thomas, and their sister Marion got an idea. What if the four of them teamed up and opened up their own potato chip shop?
Nice. A potato chip shop. Such a good idea. It exists to this day.
Such a good idea. That's what Van de Kamp has always been famous for.
Never straying from their original mission, being a potato chip shop.
When we opened as a humble potato chip shop and have been for the last 100 years, and nobody says potato chip quite like Van de Kamp. And it being 1915, anybody could do anything they wanted in LA. So on January 6th, interesting, 1915.
They stormed the capital of Los Angeles.
They stormed the chip shops. They opened up Van de Kamp Saratoga Chips at 236 and a half Spring Street downtown. Now, every part of that has to be explained. First, why did they pick the name Van de Kamp?
Yeah.
Well, 3 of the 4 people involved were Van de Kamp.
Sure.
But it seems like mostly this was actually Lawrence Frank's idea. He was the creative force behind the company, while Theo was the numbers man. But they went with the Dutch name because they wanted to convey the Dutch reputation of freshness and cleanliness. They even had a motto: made clean, kept clean, sold clean.
That was their
chips.
Potato chips, as we all know.
Chips. As we all know.
As we all know, potato chips be clean.
The messless snack. So the whole floor. Oh, nice sawdust on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's certainly not Fritos.
Is there some sort of like crunch factory nearby? Because every time I take a step, it's so loud. It was also a more memorable name than Lawrence Frank. Van de Kamp is, Frank. What are they going to call it? Like Frank's hot sauce or something? So the second part of their name, what's a Saratoga chip?
It's got a little skirt on or whatever. It's got a little dress.
No, Saratoga is not a Dutch thing. Saratoga was an early type of the original style of potato chip that was more like a kettle chip. So this was like an early American type of potato chip.
Okay. I bet it's so good. History, take that.
History, take that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're there's no holds barred anymore. 3 episodes left. We're taking down history.
Abraham Lincoln lived in a log cabin. Stupid.
Take that. History, take that.
You know what? That cherry tree deserved it. So the third thing, why is their address 236 and a half?
Yeah.
This being John Malkovich-esque. So
they lived in the back.
This is because the shop was basically just an 8-foot wide stand. That's all it was. It was basically like how a Mrs. Fields is, but they just sold chips out of a Dutch merchant type split door, you know?
Oh my God, they push it through a mailbox. Yeah. This is our 1/16 of a building we're allowed to have.
Put your lips through this hole and you shall get your chip.
Through this glory chip hole. We're calling it that. And we're going to patent.
We don't know. It's a Dutch thing.
It's a
it's the glory of Jesus. So it was like a split, merchant type door, to basically people walking by on the sidewalk be like, oh, chips.
Yeah. Ooh. You know what sounds good right now?
You know what sounds good? Chips. So Henrietta and Marion worked there in Dutch dresses that Henrietta designed. Ew. And they would scoop chips out of a chute and give them to people. This was the store. The chips were just the same chips that Lawrence's brother was selling.
Yeah.
Only dumped down a chute.
Oh, that sounds so good.
So where do you put it that way?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gimme. And the chute's clean, right? It's not because it's 1915.
No, it's Dutch. So
that's the seasoning. That's the Dutch seasoning.
The Dutch seasoning. It's called dirt. It's lice.
Bed bugs.
But because of the chute, people thought they were being made fresh in the back somewhere.
That's funny.
When in reality, they were just like emptying a plastic
bag. We need another bag.
Fire up the ovens. And they just hear.
Yeah. The echoes of it's mostly just air. It's like half air.
They're really not filling these things like they used to. So they were not being made fresh in the bag. It was just old packaged chips scooped into
Scooped
into
and shooted.
bags.
Yeah,
scooped and shooted. In their first hour of being open, though, they sold 60 pounds of Saratoga chips.
My golly.
They were so popular that by the end of 1915, they had already opened 4 more locations all around downtown selling chips.
We were a shoot full city at one point.
Oh, shoot.
Shoot.
Oh, that was their new slogan.
Yeah.
Shoot. The shoot means fresh.
The chips that'll have you say shoot.
The chips that'll have you say, please do shoot. And
they shoot potato chips, don't they?
And then World War I.
Oh no, the Great Depression of the
before.
Yeah, before it happened.
World War I hit a year before, but the repercussion finally
I see.
started being felt.
They didn't have the internet. They heard about it late.
Yeah.
It's a Swedish news thing.
They couldn't download World War I. The bandwidth was too slow.
I'm downloading this Telegram for 9 months. It's got dirt on it.
Mom, get off the Telegram. And potatoes had to be melted down into potato soup, of course. A potato shortage hit in 1916. Terrible. And I
would kill myself.
Nobody's more affected by a potato shortage than a potato chip shop.
The last person to jump off a building because of the potato chip shortage, the next person in line was jumping off because of the depression.
Yeah.
That's how it worked. Go ahead. Because that's how long the woes of a potato chip shortage
Could
was.
we not catch a break in this country? First, they came for our potatoes.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm hungry.
The most devastating potato famine I could think of.
So Van de Kamp's Saratoga chips had to pivot, so they started also selling pretzels and coconut macaroons to keep the shops stocked.
Yeah.
And when a coconut macaroon comes tumbling out of a chute,
you're going to eat it.
You're going to want to eat that quick.
To serve a German treat during World War I is...
It's a bold statement, but they're also Dutch, so like people don't really know.
They don't know.
They're gonna just assume like, oh, so you're a Nazi you're a pre-Nazi.
Is this little knotted bread? Is this swastika? Tell me the truth,
because we don't know what that is yet. Yeah. It's World War I.
Yeah, we don't
know what that means.
We don't even know the Indian symbol it's based on because we're American. I'm literally a cowboy
because we live in India, right? We're Christopher Columbus. Hi, I'm Christopher Columbus.
Hi, I'm Christopher Columbus.
So they then opened up a more generalized coffee shop in 1917 at 5th and Spring, where the Alexandria Hotel Annex is.
Okay, I just walked by there today. I marched by there.
Did you still smell macaroons?
Actually, a faint... I licked the ground.
Do macaroons smell like human feces? But in 1921 was when this World War I induced potato chip shift was completed. That was the year that they pivoted away from chips and into baked goods and opened up the very first Van de Kamp's Holland Dutch Bakery at Beverly and Western. And it sounded, Greg, this was a heavenly place. They sold donuts.
Great.
Jelly rolls.
My God.
I'm so glad I had dessert before this.
Yeah.
Pies.
Oh my God.
Danishes.
Stop.
16 types of rolls and muffins, 18 types of bread, including wheat, raisin, vitamin nut, pumpernickel, Boston brown, and a type of bread they were forced to invent because of the flour rationing that was made out of oatmeal, cornmeal, bran, and rye that even had a slogan that went with it. Oatmeal, cornmeal, bran, and rye. Sock the Kaiser in the eye.
Wow. Did you write that?
Yeah.
Did you write that for...
This is the 6th musical number.
This is actually... Were you introing a new segment?
This is the Kaiser segment.
Don't forget to take your vitamin nut.
I take nut supplements.
You reading that reminded me of that scene in Arrested Development when Joe reads the menu to Lucille too as a aphrodisiac. Go ahead.
So there were 34 types of cake, Greg.
Stop.
34. They sold cookies, egg noodles, and yes, they still did coffee, pretzels, and chips.
Why is this not a thing anymore?
And for some reason, also baked beans. They sold baked beans.
Wow.
I don't know why. I don't think that's Dutch. And this was all packaged to go in blue and white Delft boxes, which is, you see that cat thing that we have hanging? That's Delft.
He has a cat hanging in here. It's kind of a bummer.
I've got
this was...
This was Phantom's predecessor.
Yeah, he learned his lesson.
And we leave him up as a warning to Phantom to be a good boy. But that is not what's happening.
No, it's a plate.
There is a plate that Melissa brought back from the Netherlands that has a cat in like an old Dutch uniform.
Yeah.
But the blue and white around it is the Delft. That's like what Dutch stuff is famous for.
Okay.
So that's what their boxes look like. They had a hanging cat on them. But even more iconic than the boxes was the way the building was decorated that became the visual signature of Van de Kamp. It had a giant windmill on top of the building.
It sure did.
This was designed by Harry Oliver, who is a set designer who also designed the witch house that is now in Beverly Hills.
Whoa, really?
The same guy did these two things.
This guy's a literal hero. They're going to knock down Mount Rushmore, all the faces, they're going to put his face up and then 3 empty spaces.
3 windmills that power his face that goes, I am the champion.
Vote for Trump. Get him to say something else.
Trump's been dead for 300 years.
300 years, vote for Rump. Oh, that's a message I can get behind. Believe me.
They went with the windmill because it was Dutch, but also it was just an extension of LA's programmatic architecture, like a big donut, or a big dog selling tamales. That was dog selling tamales. That was meant to grab the attention of people whizzing by in a car. As a sidebar, Lawrence Frank teamed up with Harry Oliver again just a year later in 1922 and a different Van de Kamp sibling, Walter Van de Kamp. There were a lot of these Van de Kamps to open up a side restaurant with an equally whimsical design, Montgomery's Country Inn, or as it's now known, the Tam O'Shanter. Was started by the same guys.
Wow.
So sidebar.
Yes.
Walter and Lawrence teamed up again in 1938 to open up another restaurant, apparently named after Lawrence's nickname, which I guess I've been pronouncing it wrong all the time, Laurie's Prime Rib.
What?
He's Lawrence. Laurie. I thought it was Lowry.
I thought it was Lowry.
I thought it was Lowry too.
Like Lynn Lowry.
Yeah. It's
like Lynn Lowry.
No, it's like Lawrence's Prime
Get
Rib.
him to change it.
It's the same Tam O'Shanter, Van de Kamps. It's all the same Lawrence Frank.
I knew about Lowry's.
But back to the original storyline that made me hungry. So in 1921, they opened up the first bakery. By 1923, they had 10 locations. And by 1925, they had over 30. And correctly predicting the upcoming sprawl that LA would become, the new locations were not so centralized, opening in places like Alhambra, Glendale, South Pasadena, and then Beverly Hills and Huntington Park. By 1928, they had 63 stores. And by 1930, they had 90 stores, including 21 in Washington and Oregon.
Wow.
All with the signature windmills and blue and white Delft coloring. Look at the cat.
Look at the cat.
Learn your lesson.
Super.
Look at the cat. There was one in particular on Ivar in Hollywood, right across from the Knickerbocker Hotel, that a movie writer could see from the window of his room while he was staying there. He would stare at it all the time and got so inspired by it that he included it in the movie he was writing, Frankenstein.
I knew it. Look at me. I knew it. I want you to know that I knew it.
Fire bad, vitamin nut good. Sock the Kaiser in the eye.
I need a wife. I need a bride.
We belong bread.
I was gonna make a Frankenstein joke. I'm like, cool it. He'll laugh at you.
They'll all laugh at you.
Yeah, they'll all laugh at you.
He'll chase you out of here with pitchforks.
Carrie White.
The Van de Kamp windmill inspired the windmill scene from Frankenstein.
Who wrote Frankenstein? Mary Shelley?
Yeah, it was Mary Shelley. It was actually
Jesse Buckley.
Jesse Buckley wrote Frankenstein. Greg, can you believe it?
Yeah, she was sitting with Percy Shelley during a storm.
Yeah, and they were finding out who was more bisexual. So
I'm trisexual. I'm double trisexual.
I'm into dead people. Watch me write this book. So the bakeries at this time were being supplied by their main factory on a weird little street called Worden Place. Between 2nd and 3rd in Little Tokyo. Does that name sound familiar, Greg? Not Tokyo, but Worden Place between 2nd and 3rd. Can you picture this place? This was like the big shock to me in my research on this.
Wait. Say the streets. It's 2nd and 3rd.
Between 2nd and 3rd. It's called Worden Place. It's just a little alley.
In downtown?
Downtown. Kind of near that federal building or whatever. The like Ronald Reagan Federal Building.
Yeah. I just walked by that today.
Yeah.
Is it not was that the alley mall right there? No.
It was the horrible alley next to the Lexington.
Thank you. I passed Lexington today and I could not remember what it was called and it was driving me crazy.
The Lexington.
And I was telling people about the Lexington and how bad that bar was.
A terrible bar that we used to do open mic comedy at, which is basically on Skid Row.
Yeah, and I swore I saw like 100 rats right behind the
alley.
fridge.
They were all going, where's the vitamin nut?
So it used to be in that...
that alley was where their factory was.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
How the mighty have fallen. But yeah, that was a horrible blast from the past when I read that.
Yeah.
But by 1931, they had outgrown this place, so they built a brand new huge factory at 2945 Fletcher and Glassell Park.
Glassell Park.
Lowry's
and Glassell Park.
That looked like a giant 16th century Dutch house. Other bakery factories started opening up around this building as well, and some people started referring to the whole area as LA LA's bread bowl. And apparently the whole area smelled like bear claws.
Stop it.
At that time.
And they wanted us to change that.
and
America
we let this fail.
America's fallen. The Olympia's fallen.
Olympus has fallen.
Olympus has fallen.
White House down.
White House down.
White House down.
Yeah, White
Olympus
House
has fallen.
Olympus has fallen. White House down.
They even built a drive-in restaurant right next to their factory there in 1939, designed by Wayne McAllister, who's the guy who also did Bob's Big Boy in Burbank.
Did.
Same person. They even had car hops there dressed as little Dutch boys and girls.
Oh my God, I would have loved that.
You could buy them at the boys market in St. Gabriel.
Give me that little boy with the clogs.
Around this time was pretty much their peak with this giant factory, the drive-in, 3 coffee shops, 320 bakery locations, many of which were open until midnight, Greg. You could go until midnight to get baked goods.
Could have done an open mic at the Lexington and left
and gone straight
there
to the clog hop.
The clog hop. And we could have sat there and be like, what are we doing?
What mistakes have we made?
Why won't they laugh?
Why won't they laugh at
Why won't they laugh with me?
Maybe if I eat more Kaiser bread, maybe if I have enough vitamin nut, they'll find me funny.
Is Helm's Bakery named after Kaiser Van Helm? Go ahead.
It's Kaiser
Wilhelm. That's what it is. Wilhelm.
Yeah, that's the Kaiser they wanted to sock in the eye. Yeah. He was just a competing baker. That's all World War I was.
That's true.
Just a bunch of bakeries at war with each other.
And don't try to convince me. It's the bakers versus the delis.
And the band Franz Ferdinand started it all. In the 1940s, they correctly predicted yet another trend that would take LA by storm: supermarkets. They started expanding into selling prepackaged goods in local supermarkets, which is how people our age know Vandekamps. This move proved to be extremely profitable for them, but it also marked the beginning of the shift away from brick and mortar locations. In the 50s, they decided to try something new and open up a dine-in restaurant designed by Welton Beckett, who was also the guy who did Clifton's, the Pan Pacific Auditorium, the Capitol Records Building, and one of the people who worked on LAX.
3 of the 4 things you said are segments of mine. And I'm like, really? I don't know Beckett. I don't know Walton Beckett.
But in May 1956, Theo Vandekamp died. And a month later, Lawrence Frank almost died in a car crash. And the 2 events made him reevaluate his life and decided it was time to get out of the baked goods.
I got to go back to potato chips.
This is getting a little too dangerous. I need a shoot. Give me a shoot and 8 feet and I can make myself a millionaire.
Just shoot me.
That should have been what the place was called. And or it could have been called Chips with a little eye.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that was their competitor.
California Highway Potato Chips.
So he sold the company that year to General Host. Rise when I say that name, it's 4 stars.
Sir.
And walked away from the company that he founded that was still making $24 million a year. General Host, salute,
sir,
expanded the Vandekamp's offering into a kind of weird way by branching into frozen fish sticks for some reason. In 1979.
Oh, that's right. That is Vandekamp, isn't that?
That's Vandekamp. In 1979, they were sold again to a guy named Jack Leaney. And in the 80s, even though the brick and mortar windmill locations were closing left and right, like windmills moving counterclockwise.
Time is a flat windmill. Thank you. Go ahead.
Time is a flat bear claw. Time is a cheese Danish.
I eat it all.
But so in the 80s, they were still offering 140 varieties of baked goods in supermarkets around the area. They also expanded into croissant under their Le Papillon brand.
It's moving from French to Dutch to French.
And pan dulce under their Linea Suprema Dorandi brand.
Nice. I would have ate the S word.
I would have comida.
Yep.
I would have had so much comida.
Total comida. Comida, total.
Comida, boca. Comida, boca.
La boca.
Comida, bienvenido, boca. Okay? So they also sold off the frozen fish stick line to Pillsbury, making it a separate Vandekamp brand. So while the Vandekamp that's Vandekamp, but it's not Vandekamp anymore.
Okay, interesting.
But in 1985, they were sold again to a group of 3 private investors, and their slow death continued when they were sold again in 1987 to another group of private investors who finally killed them in 1990 when Vandekamp, deeply in debt, riddled by private investor bad management and layoffs that had cut down the staff from 500 employees to 20.
Wow.
Filed for bankruptcy and went out of business.
Yikes.
All that was left was that Ralph's, the supermarket, still had the rights to sell their baked goods under the Vandekamp name.
Okay, good.
Which they did until 2019, where now it's just called Kroger brand donuts.
Wow, really?
So that's what I grew up with.
Yeah.
Is the powdered Vandekamp donuts?
Ones,
so good,
so good.
The chocolate ones, honestly, not that great, but the powdered ones were really, really good.
And the box has like the plain cake too, which is like why I like plain cake. Donuts
they had so that you could get the individual.
Yeah.
Greg,
I'm speaking your language.
And my language, baked goods. You could get the individual kinds, but yeah, they did have the variety pack that was like, it had like 2 or 3 plain ones and then like 3 or 4 of each of the powdered and the chocolate.
They had the Oreo curse, which is you try to see if it can last till tomorrow.
Because they weren't that big either.
No, they weren't.
They were maybe like, you eat 2
biters.
of them. Yeah. They were 2 biters. You eat 2 of them. It was the size of like a normal donut you find in the wild.
Sure. But in the trash, on the top of the trash.
So, but because there's so few bites, of course I eat all 8 of them.
Yeah, fast.
So the Vandekamp frozen fish sticks are still going strong, but that's because they were owned by Pillsbury. They were spun off to Hoo. There was a relaunch of sorts in 2023 of a Vandekamp bakery, but they only sell their stuff online and at farmers markets in Laguna Hills by someone named Catherine Vandekamp, who I'm not entirely sure who that is, but she better be ready to prove her bona fides like Anastasia Romanov, because she might be an imposter.
We'll Rasputin her.
We will Rasputin her in that we will let her daughter live in our city, in our fair city. But we will show her dad's severed penis and say, does this look familiar?
Yeah.
But the factory was made a historic cultural monument in Glazel Park in 1992 and was vacant until 2005 when all but 2 of the buildings and the facade were demolished, and is now the Vandekamp Innovation Center of LA Community College.
Yes, it is.
There is only one of the Windmill Bakery buildings left at 4157 South Figueroa in South LA. It doesn't have the blades anymore.
Okay.
This is the bakery building.
Okay.
So it still has like, it looks like sort of like a Dr. Seuss style building, but it doesn't have the blades. It's a liquor store now. Cool. The coffee shops all became Denny's, but the only one that still has a full-on windmill is the one at 7 East Huntington Drive in Arcadia.
Oh, Huntington Drive. Yeah. Okay, that's
Get it right, okay? I did the research. Don't make me flick the page again, Greg.
Eat this page now.
Eat my notes. Yeah. This one was built in 1967. It's now at Denny's, and as they have become, and was almost demolished in 1999, but people managed.
Why?
But people freaked out, so it was saved.
Can you imagine buying a restaurant that has a windmill and being like, that's got to go?
That's got to go. Well, listen to this. The windmill had been broken since 1989, but they managed to get it spinning again on June 29th, 2016.
It killed a kid.
Until 2018, a blade flew off and crashed into the restaurant, but they fixed that. Yeah, that's the Denny's promise now. Yeah, that's what they call a moon over my son's daddy.
If the blade almost kills you, you get 2 free eggs.
If the blade almost kills you, you can get 50% off your next breakfast. So aside from this lady in Laguna Hills and those fish sticks, our connections to Vandekamps has been severed, much like the kids.
Yeah, Kid's Head, yeah.
But if you need me, I'll be sitting in a Denny's in Arcadia eating a box of Kroger brand donuts, hoping for a windmill blade to come take me. But yeah, Vandekamp, if someone were to ask me if there's one thing you could bring back from the past of Los Angeles, it would be one of those open till midnight Vandekamp bakeries. Because that sounds so great.
It sounds great. That sounds like Mecca.
It's Mecca.
It's Mecca.
It's Mecca in that most people get stampeded there. But yeah, that's the Vandekamp bakery. Yeah.
What a shame.
It really is a shame.
Really
they couldn't even let it stay in Ralph's.
Yeah. Let it stay in Ralph's.
Let it stay in Ralph's. Everyone's welcome in Ralph's. They'll sell anything in Ralph's. They have Mr. Beast candy, Greg.
They have NFTs in there.
I went to go buy an orange. It was a lazy ape or a bored gorilla or whatever. I bit into it. It wasn't juice. It was blockchain. I don't know what these words mean.
It was 6'7", Greg. It was 6'7".
Greg, it was black or whatever. What Megan Thee Stallion says. Well, Melissa keeps having to correct me. I keep thinking Megan Thee Stallion says blah, but she says that's Dracula. She goes. What is Megan Thee Stallion? She's like.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's kid stuff.
Okay, kid stuff. That's what I'm not meant to know that.
Greg, 6'7".
I'll have you know 6'7".
Now you see here 6'7", my good sir. So what do you have? What is something that you've always been wanting to? What's something you wanted to get off your chest?
Another one of mine.
So this is ticks that you have biting you.
Yeah. Bed bugs. I think
nature's bed bugs. Which are bed bugs?
Bed bugs. You have the Vandekamp, which you wish you could go to. Yeah. I believe I belong in a world.
I believe in a thing called love.
Yep. Los Angeles, car culture and movies have a cross section, a place where they exist.
You got car culture in my movie.
Exactly. You got movie in my car culture.
You drove your car into my movie theater.
Yeah.
Pay me.
Give me money. Class action lawsuit. Car City USA, Movie City USA.
Yeah.
Where do these two things meet? In a sort of picnic gathering spot.
In the movie Targets.
We're going to be talking about drive-in theaters.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Have we never talked about, I feel like
I brought them up before.
Yeah, we've never talked about drive-in theaters.
No, we haven't.
Do you, what's your, before we get it, let's do this Candy is Dandy style. What's your experience with drive-in theaters in LA?
One of my oldest memories was sitting in the bed of my dad's El Camino, and it was.
Wait, are you just singing a Sum 41 lyric?
This is actually a Bob Seger song. We were in the El Camino. We were all under my entire. Well, Nikki hadn't been born yet, but my older brother, my mom.
Those were the days.
God, I'm the most loved child on the planet, and we were watching Secret of My Success at the drive-in.
Okay.
And then I don't go to the drive-in for 100 years after that.
And then they all closed.
Yeah. And then I started going, when I started driving,
You would go to drive-in movies?
Yeah.
You were driving that long ago? Did they have cars then? Oh, you mean you learned how to ride a horse?
That old jalopy? Horatio, whatever his name is, that the Ken Burns documentary is about the first car going cross country. He drove you to the drive-in and you necked?
Yeah, so you must have split a car with the Mertzes.
I would go to the drive-in. I saw Inglourious Basterds at the drive-in.
The original from 1910.
Yeah. When it used to be called Where Eagles Dare. When it used to be called The Dirty Dozen. And then I think I went for Toy Story 4 or 3.
The only way to see Toy Story 3 or 4 is at the drive-in.
The drive-in, yeah.
With all of your toys in the car.
Yeah, all my toys in the car. You can't take that to a regular theater.
They frown upon that.
Yeah, frown upon that. You sit them, put them in your car. Yeah, but then I started going to the Mission Tiki during COVID.
Right.
Because
that was a big thing during COVID.
Yeah, and I thought, honestly, I really did think like this is how they're going to survive forever.
Right, and then they closed.
And then they closed Mission Tiki Drive-In, which was devastating to me because I don't like the other one that's around here.
What's the other one around here?
The Vineland Drive-In. I go there. It's in City of Industry.
Oh, okay. It's on the Valley.
It's not in the Valley.
It's on
Vineland/Sunland.
It's on Violence. A history of violence.
Yeah. A history of violence.
We are ending LA Meekly, but we're starting a new ultra specific LA history podcast called A History of Vineland. My experience with the drive-in theater is that, well, now it's like a Tesla superstore or something.
Oh, right.
But it used to be the Pacific Theaters in Winnetka, right by the Northridge Mall.
Uh-huh.
But before that, It was a drive-in movie theater.
Was it really?
And my memory of the drive-in movie theater, I must have gone several times, but the times I remember sitting in the back of my parents' Toyota Tercel.
That's a Bob Seger lyric. Yeah.
Eating, that's a Smash Mouth lyric.
Yeah, that's a Smash. Yeah, that's Smash Mouth.
That's a Smash Mouth.
That's a Fiona Apple lyric.
I remember eating McDonald's chicken nuggets with barbecue sauce watching Braveheart.
Weird.
Yeah, that's my memory of the drive-in theater.
Weird.
Yeah, pretty weird.
Pretty weird. I think what weirds me out is that you remember specifically what you're eating. That makes me.
I remember more than Braveheart. Trust me, a chicken McNugget is more memorable than Braveheart.
I asked him to describe Braveheart off the air, and he described Gladiator, and could not tell me how he was wrong. My dream is to open up a drive-in that is connected to American Cinematheque. That's a repertory theater, but it's a drive-in. But it can't exist in LA because
you're gonna have to take down the Scientology building.
Yeah,
to do that. You're gonna have to take down Mr. Tempo.
Mr. Tempo.
Don't take down Mr. Tempo, Greg.
I mean, you can knock down the Pig and Whistle, which has been there for 100 years, but there's no taking down Mr. Tempo.
There's no taking down Mr. Tempo.
There's 3 things that survive the apocalypse. There's Twinkies, there's roaches,
Mr. Tempo, and the song Mr. Saxo Beat. His brother-in-law, Mr. Saxo Beat. So tell us about drive-in theaters already.
All right.
It's 3 episodes left. We're so loose. We got to tighten up a little bit.
Close your robe.
I can't.
The drive-in movie theater is thanks to a New Jersey man, a sales manager at his dad's auto products shop named Richard Hollinshead, who decided to smash together his love of movies with his love of cars, like a demolition derby. He envisioned a large open-air theater where people could park their car and watch a movie and get pregnant. In the early...
Do you like the drive-in movie experience?
I like it if I'm going to see a movie that I don't care about.
Yeah, that's the only way it can be done. Because,
there's too much distraction.
How am I going to enjoy Braveheart?
Mel Gibson's best performance.
How am I going to enjoy these McNuggets? That's why I didn't want to go to those drive-in things during COVID, because it was like a lot of... like I've never seen this movie and I don't want my experience with it to be like trying to get my radio to tune into the right thing. And I have to like look over someone's Hummer.
Yeah.
Cybertruck. I'll put it in more modern terms.
Thank you. The problem with, I took my dad's Silverado to the movie theater to see Dark Knight
This is
Rises.
a John Mellencamp.
This is a Mellencamp song. And the engine I would keep it like the engine idle so I can listen to the radio, but then it would turn off. So I'd have to turn it back on. But then when I would do that, the headlights would turn on and flood the screen. So I could pick between flooding the screen for everybody or not hearing The Dark Knight Rises. In the early 30s, Holland's Head was experimenting with placing a Kodak projector on the hood of his car and projecting a movie, Wives Beware, onto a screen nailed to 2 trees with a sound coming out of a radio he placed behind the screen.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
That's better when they can project the sound, which I guess they did back in the day, but not when I was seeing them.
He continued playing with the idea, running experiments with sprinklers to simulate weather. He experimented with sound and sound.
So he was doing like a 4DX experience?
He was like, he was running all scenarios.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is when there's bugs.
This is when the killer's loose in the drive-in.
And this is when the protagonist gets to look at everyone necking in the backseat.
Buck naked. He experimented with the sound and sound distance and sounds that would drown out the movie. He had to figure...
This is the part where the villain steals all the hubcaps and siphons your gas.
Puts a banana in your tailpipe. He had to figure out how to space the cars so no one would block anyone's view or make it hard to enter or exit.
Yeah, that's
the money. Yeah. He puts blocks and ramps under the front wheels to angle the eye line so he'd be facing instead of, every car in your way, you're at least sitting at an angle. In June of 1933, after all these experiments, Holland Head opened up the first drive-in movie theater in Camden, New Jersey. It was 25 cents per car and plus 25 cents per person. He applied for it and was issued a patent.
Should be a flat fee.
I know.
Don't
give me these extra fees.
Yeah.
Oh, and this person's pregnant, so the baby owes some money too.
Yeah.
And this guy's a little heavier than everyone else. Give me an extra quarter. Double. He applied for it and was issued a patent for the first drive-in in May of that year. Isn't that lovely for New Jersey? Yeah. Isn't that great?
New Jersey gets everything.
Let me check the name of this podcast. Is it Jersey Weekly? Is it hosted by the new...
Is it Jersey Mike's?
Yeah, is it New Jersey Devil podcast? No, it's not.
Which is another thing I'd be afraid of, seeing a drive-in movie in New Jersey. The Jersey Devil.
Jersey Devil? Yeah. Or even like...
The Jersey Devil likes Braveheart too.
Mothman? He likes Dracula. Very next year, 1934, construction began on the first West Coast movie theater in Car City, USA, home of the movie stars, Los Angeles, California, on Pico and Westwood,
Pico and Westwood
Boulevard, where a bean field once stood and is now where the West Side Pavilion is.
Oh, wow.
But damn, could you imagine a drive-in theater across the street from Apple Pan? Think of that life you could have had.
When did the Apple Pan open?
I didn't do that research.
Impossible to know.
Man's not meant to know.
That would be that's the cool. If your concession stand at the drive-in is the Apple Pan,
you're doing pretty
when
good.
It was good.
Okay, you're being rude right now. Okay, since you know so much about quality, when did the Apple Pan open up?
In 1900, it tasted good.
I first read, when it first opened up, the theater had no name. It was just called Drive-In Theater. Mm-hmm. Although in
the only one.
Yeah, the one. Don't look into New Jersey at all. And this is the second thing that was stolen from New Jersey and brought to California, because
first one was movies in
general. The concept of the movies. Although in 1943 it would officially be renamed, or named, I guess, the Pico Drive-In, and labeled the world's most unique film playhouse. But like,
it's interesting that this was so movies had been around for like 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
And even then they were like, what can we do to make it crazier and more distracting when you watch a movie?
Yeah. Can we fire guns? What if we let cattle run through it?
We're going to give everybody lasers and you shoot the people on the screen with the main character.
We're going to give one person in the audience a microphone to talk to the characters in the movie.
The little boy from Hamnet has to take your improvisation suggestions.
They were called, drive-ins. Drive-in was a term that came kind of late. It was one of the many names of drive-ins. Park-ins was another one, and ozoners was another one, as in like you're in the zone. Or I guess like you could see the ozone. I don't know.
I guess like you're outside. So you're in the ozone.
So Pico Drive-In was funded and planned by a group of exhibitors, exchangemen, and equipment experts who together formed the California Drive-In Theaters Incorporated. Placed in charge of the Pico Western Drive-In was a guy named Guy Dothwaite, who in 1901 had worked at the Orpheum Theater on 1st and Main in downtown. The architect of the Pico Drive-In was Clifford Bolt, who designed theaters all over California, including the beautiful El Rey Theater on Wilshire Boulevard. He was designer of an indoor movie house theater called the Esquire, which opened in May of 1937 at 419 North Fairfax Avenue. In 1953, a new owner took over the spot, and that new owner was Cantor's Deli.
Okay.
Cantor's Deli used to be an indoor movie house.
Makes sense. I mean, the canopy of Cantor's looks like a movie
the
marquee.
And also think about going upstairs
that's the word.
Yeah.
It's called a marquee.
Yeah, actually. The going upstairs to go to the bathroom feels like when you are at a movie theater. The projectionist has to go upstairs.
And whenever I go to the bathroom, it goes...
Someone's always in the stall. It must be the projection booth.
Must be the projectionist.
He's always taking a dumper. Philip Schur of the LA Times wrote a piece called A Town Called Hollywood and had this to say in July of 1935. Guy Dothwaite's theater is unique in that it has no roof. It's called a quote-unquote drive-in and covers 10 acres at the corner of Pico and Westwood Boulevards. Dothwaite built it in 40 days last year. You sit in your car and you gaze at the screen through the windshield. The cleaner the windshield, the better the result.
And they charge you to clean your windshield.
Actually, they do. The screen.
That's actually a pretty good business.
Yeah.
To clean the windshields at a drive-in theater.
I didn't think it was a thing until I read this article.
It really is a thing.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Wow.
The screen at the Pico Drive-In was
great ideas.
The screen at the Pico Drive-In was 53 feet by 39 feet and made of wood, which was then covered in canvas and painted a flat white. 460 cars with a space of about 3 feet apart from one another could enjoy a movie together. Of the 30 or so employees staffed there, most of them would guide cars to a spot to park at, while a number of them would run around cleaning the windshields.
So was that included or was that an extra fee?
I ain't tipping. You think I'm tipping?
I didn't say tipping. Am I paying?
Am I paying? No,
I know I'm not tipping.
They're employees. These are not contractors. They're not
They should be
freelance.
thanking me.
They're not working on commission. Okay. Excuse me. My glasses are smudgy too.
Yeah. Excuse me. I've spilled my barbecue sauce from my chicken McNuggets.
My son has spilled barbecue sauce all over his white t-shirt.
He's got a barbecue stain on his white t-shirt. Okay.
The first movie to play there at the drive-in in LA was called Handy Andy.
It sounds kind of familiar, actually.
I think you're not thinking of Andy Hardy.
I think I'm thinking of Andy Hardy.
I was thinking of Andy Hardy too. Handy Andy in 1934, a Fox movie that has a scene where Will Rogers goes to a costume party dressed as Tarzan.
Okay.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Admission for Handy.
Wait, what is Trigger dressed as?
King Kong.
No, Tarzan's famous mate.
Yeah.
Not Jane. King Kong.
King Kong. He always bows to royalty. Admission for Handy Andy at the drive-in was 35 cents. Everything was going
high.
Yeah. Everything was going smoothly except the sound. The window-mounted speakers were still 7 years away. The Pico Drive-In used one giant loudspeaker behind the screen and played it real loud, which was barely an improvement from Hollingham's initial design in his own driveway. This was basically like a bigger version of that. But a giant loudspeaker bumping the fine tunes of Handy Andy dialogue is not as peaceful as it sounds.
Oh, were the neighbors upset?
Almost immediately, the neighboring community hated this exposed movie theater experience and pressured LA City Council to shut it down.
They were confused, like people have like the train coming up the movie screen. Why is Hank Williams... Is that who you said it was?
No, it's Will Rogers.
Why is Will Rogers coming into our neighborhood every night?
I woke up to the sound of Will Rogers, and he was saying, "Me Tarzan, you Jane." We have to put you down, sir.
There's an old legend that the lights were out in my house all night, and I thought I was petting my cat, but the next morning the cat was in the microwave, and there was a note that said Will Rogers licks fingers too.
An ordinance was introduced in January of 1935, which made it a misdemeanor to operate a sound amplifying system audible more than 50 feet from a venue's property line.
Well, I could have used that law when I had bad neighbors.
I'm sure there was a law, but city hall is so corrupt. Not everyone agreed with this ordinance, though. A letter to the Los Angeles Evening City News in February of 1935 read, quote, "In my position as a graduate nurse, I come in contact with many sick and crippled people whose only source of entertainment is a theater such as is conducted by the drive-in theater. Considering the small number of residents living adjacent to or nearby the drive-in theater who are supposed to be complaining, this ordinance has all the earmarks of the worst kind of politics," which is a sort of NIMBY thing.
Yeah. I mean, it was popular during COVID for a reason.
Yeah.
Like if you're really sick and you can't be in a crowd of people.
Right. Yeah.
It's the perfect place to go.
It was the perfect, and if you have a new dog and you can't take it in the movies, you shove them in the car, you go to the drive-in, you watch Vast of Night, which is a perfect alien movie. And I saw it at the drive-in. Amazon was smart enough to play it premiere at the drive-in.
Amazon is so smart.
They're flawless. And their Charlie Brown leader, perfect. The adjacent area was Cheviot Hills, and according to the American Legion newspaper scrapbook, I found a PDF online of the Cheviot Hills charter, it was a bitter battle between Dothwaite and the residents who just wanted a nice one night of peace and quiet. Please, I don't want to hear Handy Andy anymore. He's keeping us up day and night. Also not excited about the ordinance was the manager of the Pico, Guy Dothwaite, who continued showing movies and challenged the ordinance and the court's constitutionality. A judge found this champion of car cinema guilty of violating the ordinance and fined him $250, which back then, that's $300,000. And hit him.
Death by Herbie.
You get 4 Herbies and you tie it to different limbs.
They gave him an iron Herbie. They put him in an iron Herbie.
Now close the door, Herbie.
No,
please. I'm tired of hearing death. Herbie. We'll call Christine on you.
Herbie the death bug. Yeah, we'll call Christine.
We'll call Christine a Knight Rider.
Your wife.
Yeah, your wife. We'll call Christine your wife to come yell at you. So they fined him $250 for continuing to show movies at the Pico. Dothwaite tried explaining that his neighbors closest to the theater didn't complain, and the noise of traffic on Overland was louder than his pictures were. But he wasn't convincing anyone. The residents of Cheviot Hills said they could hear the movie from a mile away. A mile away, I'm listening to Will Rogers, and I'm thinking, I want to blow my brains out.
I could hear it from a mile away. I don't think anything could be heard from a mile away back then.
No, if they dropped an atomic bomb a mile away, I would hear I'd feel like a breeze. That's how. I have no idea. According to a newspaper,
well, they say that you feel Will Rogers before you hear him.
You see a flash of Will Rogers. A lasso comes across your eye line. According to a newspaper clipping from the Evening Star News, the speaker problem was solved, or at least altered, by June of 1935, when the first iteration of the window speaker system was created. They used miniature loudspeakers and attached it to the car's radiator and played it for each car had its own to listen to.
I've seen that. I don't know if I saw that in real life or just remembering from movies.
It might have been a Looney Tunes,
of the things they clip on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that also seems bad.
They also... I mean, I like the car window idea, but sometimes I want to roll the window up for necking purposes.
You want to get it steamy.
I want to get steamy. I want to write, I heart you, but I don't really heart you. I'm just trying to neck you. Meanwhile, Richard Hollingshead was getting frustrated that a second drive-in had opened up without recognizing his patent on them. Some theaters would later sign licensing agreements and would give Hollingshead a share of the box office receipts. But many who opened a theater just ignored the patent and he was having a hard time enforcing it because really what was being patented?
The idea of
the concept
enjoying the movie.
The First Circuit Court of Appeals determined that the subject matter of the patent was not patentable, stating this arcuate arrangement of parking stalls in a lot is obviously only an addition to the automobiles of the conventional arrangement of seats in a theater employed since ancient times. There's nothing invented in adapting the old arcuate arrangement of seats in a theater to automobile parking lots as a means to achieve horizontal pointing. There's nothing to patent here. I think I read at some point he was able to patent the angles that he created, but that's it.
Yeah. I own 36 degrees.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, 36. I bet you could probably patent the speaker.
Sure. Yeah. But he didn't come up with a speaker.
Right.
Yeah. Dothwaite.
Did he invent the cars at least?
He actually wrote Pixar's Cars.
Yeah, that's why it took him so long to give us Pixar's Cars.
Hollingshead was never able to cash in on his invention. Guy Dothwaite died in December of 1936 of a heart attack at the age of 50. The Pico screened its final double bill on October 1st, 1944, with Fred McMurray and Barbara Stanwyck in Double Indemnity.
Oh, weird.
No, that was the last movie that played at the Pico. It was demolished in 1947. That's the story of the first drive-in in Los Angeles. But now I'm just going to talk about some of the ones that I have always saved pictures of if I see them on Tumblr or on Pinterest. So these are the ones that have sort of the ones I always wanted to go to. The successor to the Pico Drive-In was the Olympic Drive-In at the corner of Olympic and Bundy Drive in the Sawtelle area on the west side. Pico,
they're not going to like that.
They're not going to. What are you kidding me? The Pico Drive-In closed with the film noir Double Indemnity, and the Olympic opened with a film noir, The Woman in the Window.
Triple it.
This guy's got even more insurance policies filled out for him. The Woman in the Window with Edward G. Robinson, a really good film noir. The Olympic could fit 775 cars on its lot and had a mural on the backside. So a lot of them had a mural on the backside of the screen. The mural on the backside of the screen showing a man and a woman surfing, which was painted in the 1950 during a renovation that included adding a playground for kids instead of them running around underneath cars and getting ready to be run over. It was closed in October of 1973 and became the Martin Cadillac dealership that was on the west side. The last 3 showings at the Olympic Drive-In were Schoolgirls Growing, and Swinging Wives.
So it's a porn drive-in theater?
Yeah, for everyone to see on the sidewalk. Full penetration too. Full penetration.
Wait, is it those?
No,
those aren't porn movies.
No, I'm sure
Schoolgirls growing
and swinging. I'm sure they were like topless, like what, like Jack Hill movie, like swinging cheerleaders.
That's porn, Greg.
That's pornography.
Where I come from, that's porn.
If I'm seeing a woman's breast, it's literally pornography.
This should be illegal.
Yeah, I have a book on mammograms. This is literally pornography, and it should be banned.
And I shouldn't be able to mail this.
Books on French photography, pornography. There was the Gilmore Drive-In, which was east of the Farmers Market on the northwest corner of 3rd and Grove. I'm guessing where the Nordstrom is now. It was opened in July of 1948 it opened with the Silver River, which was a Western starring Errol Flynn.
Is that a porn?
Yeah, that's what the river was. Yeah. The backside of the screen didn't have a mural. Instead, it was a beautifully designed, streamlined, modern structure created by, again, William Balk and Louis Bryan, who had developed designed the Pico. Balch had also designed a Gauge drive-in. The Gilmore was the first drive-in to get CinemaScope, showcasing the process in 1954 with a Western called The Command. But it closed in 1977, was demolished in 83, and was a nursery for like 20 years before it got absorbed by the Grove.
Like a children's nursery or like a plant nursery?
Like a plant nursery, you idiot.
Nature's children.
God's children.
God's children
Yes,
plants.
true children. God's true children.
Think
plants.
of the children plants.
Coral reef.
Are we not all God's children plants?
We're the worst thing that Coral Reef ever came up with. There was the Compton Drive-In at 2111 East Rosecrans Avenue, just off of Long Beach Boulevard. That theater had a mural of a Viking ship on the backside of the screen. The screen was said to be one of the tallest structures around. I think it was 75 feet tall.
It's like IMAX.
Yeah, basically.
Drive Max. It's CarMax.
CarMax, actually, yeah. The theater could almost fit 2,000 cars in a lot. It was
2,000
Yeah,
cars.
that's a lot of cars, yeah. It was opened in 1949 by Ted Mann of Mann Theaters.
Oh, weird.
It had its golden years, but as the surrounding area became a little rougher, so did the atmosphere of the drive-in, and a lot of vandalism, a lot of robbery.
During the
drive-in.
like you'd get carjacked.
Yeah. You get, people would like just...
They'd jack you in your car.
Yeah. Which is, I thought he meant something else.
Is this a porn?
Yeah, is this a porn? I'm not sure.
Is this your porn?
I'm not sure when it stopped showing movies and started, but at some point it started operating as a church or like a church gathering space. But it was finally raised in 1995. The last movies to play there was Street Fighter, the movie Street Fighter, and Junior, the movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger gets pregnant.
Wow.
At least someone's getting pregnant at the drive-in.
What? For old time's sake.
One more for the road.
One more Austrian man is going to get pregnant here tonight.
There was the El Monte Drive-In at the corner of Alice Lane and Lower Azusa Road, opened in July of 1948. The screen mural depicted a Mexican woman doing the jarabe tapatio with a Mexican courtship dance, which appropriate for what's happening in the drive-in. That was fitting because in the 1970s, the El Monte Drive-In became a Spanish language movie house, only showing Spanish language movies there. It was leveled at the dawn of the 20th century and is now a Home Depot.
You mean the 21st century?
21st century. Yeah, you're right. 21st
What year
century.
is it?
What year is it? There was the Pickwick Drive-In, opened in May of 1949 with the Red Stallion and the Rockies and a Dorothy Lamour movie called The Lucky Stiff.
Is that in Burbank?
Yeah. It's on Alameda on the lot where there's now a Denny's and a Pavilions across the street from AAA.
Oh, that's where Geeky Teas is, I think.
No. Geeky Teas is on
Right?
Magnolia.
No, that's the old Geeky Teas.
Oh.
They moved to a much better space. They've gone to a better place.
They've gone to a better
and
place?
It's Alameda.
Oh, okay. So it is around. It must be. If it's on the same lot as the Pavilions.
I think it's across the street. Because I know there's a AAA. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm thinking of it. But because the Pickwick Bowl and all that, or what used to be the Pickwick Bowl, is right over there.
Around the
so it
corner,
must be.
yeah. The greater Pickwick area.
It's the Pickwick District.
Pickwick District. The site is important.
It's the Pickwick Dickwick.
The Pickwick Drive-In is important for two very Greg reasons.
Okay.
Number one, it's where they filmed the end of Pee-wee's Big Adventure when he's handing out concessions to all the people he met on the road. One of the best, in my opinion, one of the best scenes in cinema history. And I'm not even exaggerating. I think that part is incredible. That was the Pickwick. But also, strap in, brother. In February of 1974, they had the world premiere of Blazing Saddles at the Pickwick, and all the attendees rode in and watched on horseback.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
That's like the joke I was making about you
was.
earlier. Is that because don't they drive into they
They go to it must be the one at the end of the.
that's a little too meta.
Because
They storm a drive-in theater at the end of Blazing Saddles.
No.
Was it also the premiere of Blazing Saddles?
because Headley walks into Man's Chinese Theater and then he sees the end of what's his name, Bart, coming to get him outside of Man's Chinese Theater, and then at the end of it, him and Gene Wilder go off into the sunset. Do they go to the drive-in after that?
I seem to recall that the cowboys all ride into a drive-in theater and like ruin a movie.
That would be twice that they go meta. That's pretty funny. The funniest man alive.
That movie might be funny. Are you going to talk about my drive-in theater?
I talk about some in the Valley. I don't think
the Pickwick one.
Pickwick, if you want to call it the Valley, sure.
What?
Was yours on Winnetka?
It was on Winnetka.
And I don't cover that one. It wasn't come up on my research.
Are you going to talk about the one from Targets? Okay.
There was a Los Feliz drive-in, which was part of the same lot that the Friendship Auditorium was. It's now it's on Riverside, just I guess like near or touching the Hyperion Bridge. They say like now it's part of the freeway, but it was
going to upset the mountain lions.
They're not going to like that.
P-21 will be upset about that. His dad.
It was opened in March of 1950 with Randolph Scott and the Nevadian, and a movie called Pirates of Capri, which was a porno. It was a twin screen drive-in and could fit about 600 cars until the twin screen went up, and then it lost about 100 parking spaces.
Wait, so they had two different screens
back to
for
back
a drive-in theater?
Yeah. The Mission had 4 screens.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so I was cheating on what's the Saw movie that has Chris Rock, like Spiral or whatever. I was cheating on that because I literally had my back turned. Squiggles, yeah. I had my back turned to that, which I had paid for, and I was watching the Cruella DeVille movie. Cruella DeVille. Clea Duvall's an actress.
The Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall movie.
Remember when Shelley Duvall captured all those Dalmatians?
The Los Feliz Drive-In was closed on October 2nd, 1956, and it closed out with one of my favorite movies, Stanley Kubrick's The Killing. Great movie. Another great film noir.
Yeah, all these are they seem to lean film noir at these.
It's such like, to me, like drive-ins are such like sock hop stuff to be like closing out the great film noirs so they can open up to like Frankie and Annette beach movies is so funny. There was a Sepulveda drive-in on Sepulveda near Oxnard Street. Now we're going into the Valley.
Is that the one
from Targets?
Yeah.
No.
Oh. How could it not be?
No, it wasn't. The Reseda was the one in the drive in Targets.
That's weird.
Sepulveda's shown. Actually, he's driving on the freeway, and in the background for a shot, you'll see the marquee for the Sepulveda drive-in, but that's not the one he ends up at.
Oh, because off of Sepulveda, off of the
405 is where he's shooting
people. But is that one on Sepulveda the one that Cliff Booth lives in?
No, that's not even that one. That's another one.
Really?
Yeah.
How many of these were in the Valley?
A lot, because the Valley had a lot of open space, and it was near L.A.
You mean it is L.A.?
Okay. It opened in May of 1955 with a movie called A Man Called Peter and the Eternal Sea. It was a big lot. Is this a porno?
Is this a porno?
I got a man named Peter for you, and I'd like to introduce you
to my Eternal Sea.
To my son. It was a big lot accommodating space for 1,500 cars.
1,500 cars. That's crazy.
It could be seen in the 1974 movie Bank Shot, but it was torn down in 1989. The Reseda Drive-In was another Valley hotspot.
Okay, where was this?
Opened in April of 1949 with the Glenn Ford movie called The Man from Colorado. It was on Van Owen near Reseda, close to Las Fuentes.
Oh my God.
I think I read it was on.
Do I work there?
I read that it was on Canby Avenue. I'm like, is it where the Canby was? But
no,
I don't know.
The
Canby Avenue is not where the Canby is.
The Canby used to be on Canby, but then it moved to where we knew where it was.
Okay.
But still kept the name. But yeah, the Canby.
If Canby,
that's like, oh my God, that's like, I think that's where like the YMCA is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's where the Reseda was.
Like closer to Wilbur. Like between Reseda and Wilbur.
Sure.
It must have been there.
Yeah.
So that's where Targets killed everybody.
Yeah, that's where Targets kill everybody. This is the drive-in used in the movie Targets. The climax of the movie takes place at the drive-in. The shooters behind the screen shooting people watching the movie.
One of the scariest scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
And absolutely terrifying. If it wasn't a horror movie when it came out in 1968, after all the mass shootings we've dealt with for the last 20 years, it became a horror movie. One of the most modern horror movies I've ever seen. Yeah, I always say that, I mean, a lot of people think it's Rosemary's Baby or Psycho, but I think Night of the Living Dead is the first truly American horror movie because it introduces a new kind of terror. And it's no more like castles and curses. It's actually like, yeah, your neighbors are going to kill up and kill you. They're just going to stop dying.
Yeah, and you're just going to ignore Five Nights at Freddy's.
But it's funny that in 1968, Targets came out, which was another... This is the new horror, but like it meant it
modern, but it was
modern horror for the 21st century.
And speaking of meta, it was also about an aging Frankenstein making what used to be considered horror,
and him saying this isn't scary, and he picks up a newspaper and said this is scary, and it's about the Vietnam War. One of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. The theater closed 10 years later, 1978, and was torn down by 1989. The last movie that played there was Car Wash, starring Richard Pryor. Who
a few blocks away
was having a prior fire of his own, 1980. The Van Nuys Drive-In was on Roscoe and Noble and opened up playing Buffalo Bill with Joel McCrea and Wings of the Morning with Henry Fonda. The backside of the screen depicted a man on a horse with the San Fernando Mission behind him in the background.
Is that the one that Cliff Booth lives in?
The Van Nuys? No. The Van Nuys was the Van Nuys was painstakingly recreated for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was where Cliff lives.
the guy on horseback.
Yeah, that's right. Painstakingly recreated by hand, like a model of it. And I remember I have that saved. It was like my background on my phone for a while. A woman painting the marquee for that.
Well, they're gonna have to. They must have recreated it for
David Fincher is gonna spin-off.
The spin-off that. Did we want? I don't know.
I didn't want it, and then I heard David Fincher's in charge. I'm like, give me 100 episodes of it. I love David Fincher.
100 episodes of this movie.
Yeah, this movie. No, I think it's a show.
I thought it's a movie.
Who cares? The theater.
What's the difference anymore, right?
Oh, I'm glad that he stopped making Mindhunter for this. The theater could hold up to 900 cars, and after a remodel, increased that up to 1,400 cars and had a third screen. It was closed in 1996. So I wrote down, you should remember this one.
I mean, maybe I went there, but the only one I remember is the one on Winnetka.
Okay. The Victory Drive-In opened in 1949 with My Dream of Yours. It was on the north side of Coldwater Canyon. It was smallish. It could hold about 650 cars. The screen tower had a mural of wagons moving west, which was funny because the last movie they played there was Bound for Glory in 1977.
Is that the one? Because they, I guess maybe not, but the one that they have at the beginning of Back to the Future 3.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, I mean, maybe it's a scene from Back to the Future 3. It's the wagons moving west. Some drive-ins remain on the periphery of the city. The Paramount Drive-In is on Rosecrans in Paramount and still runs. The Vineland Drive-In, which I brought up before, is at the City of Industry, a perfect little grimy spot next to the train. I remember seeing Inglourious Bastards and the sound cut out because a train ran right through the property. Although I looked today, and Google sometimes Google says it's been temporarily closed. Mm-hmm. The one that I became real accustomed to during COVID was a Mission Drive-In in Montclair.
That's the one everyone was going to.
Yeah, I learned about it from Dana Gould, who said he would drive his daughters down there. But it was closed for good in 2023 after having a slight like last moment of glory. I saw Vast of Night there. I saw the new Candyman there. I saw the Spiral movie and Clay Duvall movie. It opened in 1956 and was expanded in 1975, where they built a 4-screen theater. And in 2006, it became Tiki-fied. They Tiki-fied it, which was great. I didn't mind that at all. It had been open for 67 years, and on weekends during the day became an area for swap meets. And it was like a local hangout. Like people loved that theater, and it kind of really sad. I'm sad that it closed down. I was legitimately really bummed. The death of drive-ins is like anything else in the world. Technology had made screens smaller and smaller as we humans became less communal. TV Nancy Kerrigan regular movie theaters, but dealt a tremendous blow to drive-ins because it offered a lot of what drive-ins offered, but at home. VHS was a final blow to many theaters, but also another huge blow to drive-in theaters. This is what drive-ins would offer to people. You can hang out with your friends and talk and laugh, but you're in a car and you can,
Yeah, it is better.
You can get pregnant at home.
We have pregnant at home, Greg.
And it's like the basket case monster.
Feed me.
Feed me. Urban sprawl also has a lot to do with the death of drive-ins. You can't really open a drive-in theaters in the heart of the city or any decently populated suburb. They're mostly found in the industrial areas or outside of towns. The lights of LA would drown out the screen and the noise would affect too many neighbors. It's too populated. Where can you even find a lot big enough in a heavily populated area of the city anyways? Anyone who could afford it wouldn't risk the money for novelty aspects of a drive-in movie theater, but it's not novelty to me. I think it's a great alternative to the church-like atmosphere of a movie house. A movie theater is church. You don't talk or go on a phone. But if you go to the drive-in...
But you do eat chicken nuggets.
But you do eat chicken nuggets on your lap. You do eat gazpacho on your lap. I think it's a great alternative to a church. It's a communal space where you can gather with your friends and chat and eat. I don't like a movie theater where you stay silent, but you can order food. I don't like that. I don't think that's smart. The Alamo Draft has style of going to the movies.
I don't like that either.
I don't like it. I don't think it's a smart approach. It's funny because I like the Alamo respect for cinema. Get on your phone, you get kicked out. We show good movies. We have funny trailers. We take care of our cinema goers. But during the climax of a movie, they're all going to start collecting checks.
Do you want any sponge cake?
Would you like?
Would you like sponge cake?
We're going to make you a cocktail right in front of you.
Do you want table side?
Do you want table?
Do you want seat side guacamole?
And now the Alamo Draft House is trying to cut out that by making it you can order on your phone, which is worse because you're not supposed to be on your phone in a movie theater.
Yeah,
that's dumb. That defeats the purpose.
I hate the dine-in thing
I don't
because
like it.
I find it to be very distracting. I think I've done it once maybe, but
Okay.
I found it to be the idea of it is very distracting to me. Like I don't want waiters walking in front of me, even if there is a lot of space or whatever. Like I don't want people ducking in front of me.
Yeah.
But I do think that the drive-in would, because so many people really don't know how to behave in a movie theater
Etiquette
anymore.
is hanging on by a thread.
So I think that the drive-in theater is a good place for like, go do that there.
Yeah. It's a good place for party movies.
Yeah.
Like the New Beverly, when I first started going to New Beverly like 20 years ago or something, it was the party. It kind of still is, but unfortunately, like you have cinephiles who take it seriously and you have party people who want to be on their phone, and it's Quentin Tarantino's theater. So everyone thinks you can just like take pictures of the screen and be on your phone. Somebody was
and feel your neighbor's feet or whatever.
Yeah, put their feet in the mouth. There was like it was all over Reddit for like a week. This guy was so distracting they stopped the movie and he would not get up and leave, and basically everyone shamed him into leave. The cops were called because he wouldn't get up.
I think I heard about
stop
this.
being on his damn phone. But if you want, like, I take going to the movies incredibly seriously to a point where it's kind of annoying to people. But I think a drive-in's like a good. You and I respect movies.
Yeah, we do.
We have comments and we look at each other, but we will never talk.
Well, write it down.
Write it down.
Write it down mentally.
Yeah, mentally. You're actually writing that down very loud. You're very distracting. But I think like a drive-in's a cool hangout spot. And I think I would love to go to a drive-in the way they have Cinespia. You can go sit outside at Hollywood Forever and watch a movie. I love that idea of watching movies surrounded by people. And they're very respectful. But like, if I could do that with my car, if I could hang out in my car with my friends and drink beer, that'd be great. It's such a Southern California idea that I wish was still around. And that's my old man dream, is to have it run a drive-in movie theater in the heart of the city, where it can
with
exist.
prime real estate
And prime rib.
and Lowry's
brother.
But that, I mean, the Tesla drive-in attempted that sort of thing, which was a disaster for many, many, many reasons. But like,
You have to do a swastika. You have to do a Heil Hitler. You have to Heil Hitler.
a Tesla salute.
They only play Triumph in the Will. They only play Birth of a Nation.
But like that, because they were like projecting movies against like people's apartment, you know? So like that, I think the city just is too dense to even attempt anything like that anymore.
It would have to exist somewhere like
Sylmar,
Sylmar.
which is so densely populated.
Yeah, it would have to exist in a weird pocket like where the Hollywood Reservoir is. And the neighbors would never allow that.
The deers.
We're
going to have to tear down most of our natural resources.
We're going to project it against the water slide that William Mulholland was like, there it is, take it. That's going to have to be a drive-in.
And by projecting it on it, that water's no longer drinkable.
No. Actually, if you get in your eyes, you will die in 30 minutes.
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
So, Greg, let's get into our final segment we have here today. Black is black. I want my employees back, said the studios. It's time.
Shut it down.
It's time to dig deep into the annals. Is this a point?
Scissor
of Hollywood history for a story that is as relevant today as every single movie from back then still is as well. Hollywood Black Friday.
Wow, I have no idea. I love Hollywood history.
Oh, you're going to love this.
Tell me.
This has got everything you like. It's got
William Holden kills a guy over a TV at Walmart the day after Thanksgiving. Yeah. Gloria Swanson literally choked a child who was going to grab
Claire Bow got trampled to death trying to get a Furby in this story, Greg. Can you believe it?
At a Kmart. 1941.
A 1941 Kmart. So one of the many reasons movie production moved to LA was because it was a way for the filmmakers of the East Coast to escape the nasty, un-American clutches of unions and workers'
Can you
rights.
imagine?
I can't. I'm choking up.
He's saying that he has to go home. What? He says that he has to stop working because he has to go to the bathroom.
She's saying that she can't act because she's having a baby? No. I don't think so.
Can we put her down?
Who's the baby's agent?
She'll be put in a mental asylum and the baby will get a 3-picture deal.
And the baby will be Shirley Temple.
I was about to say, and that baby is Shirley Temple.
But unions quickly took hold here in Hollywood anyway. And again, it
much to the chagrin of everyone.
Of people in charge.
Louis B. Mayer, Walt Disney.
And the biggest one for behind the scenes workers was one from the East Coast called the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, or IATSE.
IATSE.
We all know IATSE.
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 God, I had a joke. I don't remember what it was.
Does it have something to do with...
It's something with Popeye.
Is that it? Is that funny? Is this a joke?
Let me literally look up what it was.
Am I joke?
Is this humor?
I joke?
Am I as funny as Bill Maher is?
Am I as funny as a Mark Twain Award winning comedian Bill Maher?
Oh, it's IATA. How do you know Popeye was unhappy with safety regulations? IATA.
What's IATA?
This is what I said.
I know this is funny, but what's IATA?
International Air Transport Association. I was learning because of the film shipping class I took.
Greg, let me be the first to congratulate you. That was a really funny joke.
That was a joke. That was a great joke 9 months ago when it was coherent and in context. That was a great joke.
So IATSE represented pretty much anyone who wasn't an actor, writer, producer, or director in Hollywood. Anyone who worked in Hollywood.
You got a hammer?
You got a hammer, you're an IATSE.
Yeah, you're an IATSE.
Welcome to the union.
Yeah. Is a guy holding a hammer? Either Russian.
You know, Jesus was in IATSE. The people who built sets, who painted sets, who took care of the lighting, all that sort of stuff that Timothée Chalamet would never be caught doing. Oh my
God, his hands, they put them in frozen blocks of ice.
In between ping pong matches, his hands are just sitting
encased in porcelain.
In between takes of Dune. He is the only person on that set who actually got water to soak his hands in.
Lisa Al-Gaib.
Lisa Marie Al-Gaib. So
let us pray.
It grew in Hollywood with Hollywood, IATSE did. Mm-hmm. And by the 1940s represented some 12,000 people who worked in the movies. But there was one big problem with IATSE at the time. It was run by the mob. Like straight up, it was run by the mob.
I don't know if you ever read James Ellroy before. I know that it's run by the mob.
You said union, right?
Yeah. And they would literally the studios would get their mob to break it up, and those were the cops.
The Chicago mob in particular was the one that was in charge of IATSE.
Wow, really?
Al Capone's Chicago mob in most particular.
Tax evading Al Capone?
The friend of the IRS, Al Capone. Back in Chicago, a guy named George E. Brown was running, not George E. Brown, not George E. Brown.
Like Joe E. Brown.
Like Joe E. Brown.
Got it.
He was running the local IATSE branch when he met a guy named William Byoff, which is the perfect name for this situation, who ran a racket around Chicago where he would take money from the owners of local theaters and nightclubs in exchange for intimidating the actors and performers to never ask for higher wages or for better hours. You like this?
I'm literally in pain right now. Sorry.
And you like this. And you say your eyes are telling me you support this, Greg.
You said something that sounded like a racket and my brain tried to make a joke. And then I was just literally thinking about Dune. Go ahead.
He was running a racket, but Lisa Marie Al-Gaib was running
my heart.
Arrakis.
Yeah.
George E. Brown thought, wow, that sounds great. So he applied that method to everyone involved with IATSE in Chicago. This was when an associate of Al Capone named Frank Nito caught wind of their racket, Arrakis, and made them an even better offer. Give him 2/3 of the money they made pulling this screen and he won't kill them. So this sounded like a great deal, so they took it. Then in 1934, after a rigged election that made George E. Brown IATSE president, they implemented this racket on a national level on their affiliates around the country, including those in Hollywood.
Okay.
So now every IATSE chapter around the country was a mob owned.
Okay. Mob run, mob owned.
Yeah.
Mobo.
Yeah. Mubu.
Thank
Mob
you.
us. Beat us. So now IATSE, with its thousands of behind-the-scenes Hollywood employees, were having their wages kept low and their hours kept long by the union they were paying to represent their rights. In exchange, the head of IATSE promised the heads of the studios that there would be no strikes, no work stoppages, so that they could keep making money. If any member of IATSE opposed to this, they'd send hired goons to them and physically change their mind. And if ever those in charge of IATSE needed some extra cash, they'd threaten the heads of the studios with a strike in exchange for a quick payout to line their pockets.
Boy.
Pretty good racket.
This is the first sour thing I've ever heard about Hollywood. Do you think that it's not as...
I don't think it's like this anymore.
It's maybe outdated.
I think that maybe this might be fan fiction because this is the Dream Factory, Greg. This is the place that brought us Judy Garland.
And look how healthy her life was.
Luckily, these people weren't in charge forever. In 1941, both George E. Brown and his partner William Byoff were indicted for federal racketeering.
Wow.
They were both fined $20,000 while Brown got 8 years in prison and Byoff got 10 years in Alcatraz.
Whoa, when that was a thing.
He could go meet his boss. When he got out, he settled into a quiet life in Phoenix until one day he turned on his car and exploded to death.
That's not what's supposed to happen with cars.
In Phoenix.
And Phoenix, yeah.
That sort of thing. You don't even have to turn on your car in Phoenix to explode to death. But just because these guys were out of the picture didn't mean things got better. Taking their place in 1941 was the new president of IATSE, Richard Walsh, and the manager of the Hollywood branch, Roy Brewer, who both ran the exact same racket as the last guys.
It works so well.
Yeah, we won't get caught.
Yeah, I have an idea.
I don't even own a car. Alcatraz will be closed by the time
my horse blew up.
But there were those who worked behind the scenes in Hollywood that weren't having any of this. The rift began in 1937 when 77 set decorators broke away from IATSE and formed their own union called the Society of Motion Picture Interior Decorators. In 1943...
I'm shaking my head like, please don't do this. Please don't do this. They're going to beat you up so bad.
What? You're too afraid to challenge Al Capone?
You never fought an interior decorator before?
Clearly you've never picked a fight with a set decorator, Greg. In 1943, this group joined up with a separate union of illustrators and cartoonists who had also broken away from IATSE called the Painters Union.
I bet their posture was so good.
Yeah, they were the most organized hunchbacks you've ever seen. So they were led by a man named Herb Sorrell. So Sorrell was a former boxer who is now a set painter, or as he described himself, just a dumb painter.
Cool.
Sorrell knew...
That's what Picasso had on his business card. Just a
dumb painter. Flip it over, and a pedophile.
I need a business card for that.
Sorrell,
so good at
they'll never think to look on the back. Sorrell knew the racket IATSE was running, and he hated it.
Okay.
He was big on workers' rights, and he hated the studio heads. He had been the one that led the animators' strike against Disney in 1941, which, among other things, featured Chuck Jones marching in front of Disney holding a guillotine.
That's really cool. I don't know if you know this about me. I love Chuck Jones.
I love guillotines. I absolutely love guillotines.
Yeah, they're so funny.
So Sorrell's union joined up with the Society of Motion Picture Interior Decorators, who had broken away from IATSE, and 7 other smaller unions that had formed and created a whole new democratically run union called the Conference of Studio Unions, or CSU, which I kept reading as California State University, but CSU. So now there's IATSE and there's CSU. So they had headquarters at 5th and Western, and while they were much smaller than IATSE, they were the biggest direct challenger to their control over behind-the-scenes workers, and they were the union who were actually pro-worker and not run by the mob.
Right.
So IATSE at this point is bad. CSU is good.
Okay.
Keep that in mind.
All right.
So now we're
And CSU is, the S stands for safe.
So now we're post-World War II, and Hitler is incommunicado.
He's out of commission.
He's, let's just say he is into caballeros this time. So 90 million Americans were going to the movies every single week, and studio profits had never been higher. Post World War II, America's back, baby.
And we're watching film noir.
And we like movies because we're traumatized. But these
We have no way to process anything.
movies are our therapy.
Yeah.
But these profits were not trickling down to the behind the scenes workers.
No.
And both unions wanted their fair share of the pie. Both IATSE and the CSU wanted to renegotiate their contracts with the studios, but a disagreement arose between the two unions. IATSE claimed that they had jurisdiction over those first 77 set decorators who had broken away, remember? Mm-hmm. Something CSU wholeheartedly disagreed with.
Yeah.
They said, those are our people. They joined us.
Yeah.
This disagreement between the unions was the perfect excuse for the studio heads to say, hey, we don't want to get in the middle of this, so we won't pick a side, which meant no negotiations of new contracts, which meant no new deal, which for CSU meant no work.
Wow.
On March 12th, 1945, Sorel ordered a strike and all CSU members walked off their jobs.
Wow.
10,500 behind the scenes movie set workers suddenly were not at work.
Whoa.
And even though their unions were at odds, thousands of IATSE members also walked off the jobs in solidarity.
That's why every movie for that year was filmed at Barbara Stanwyck's house.
Yeah. It was on Zoom.
Yeah.
They even had a special meeting at the Hollywood Legion Stadium of 1,500 IATSE members who refused to scab and wanted to stage a rebellion against the heads of IATSE.
Wow.
This movement was shut down and the leaders of this rally lost their IATSE membership.
Shoot.
Yeah. Workers' rights.
Workers' rights.
Don't exist. Almost 60% of all productions in Hollywood ground to a halt.
Wow.
The studios estimated...
They're in their most profitable era.
Yeah. The studio... Well, that's when you got to... That's when you strike.
Yeah.
The studios...
Oh, you're doing good right now?
Not me.
Yeah.
The studios estimated that they had enough movies backlogged to last them 9 months without new work, but still, many of them did not want to take that chance.
Mm-hmm.
Not wanting a repeat of what they went through with Sorel 4 years earlier, Disney quickly made a deal with CSU, as did Monogram, but Columbia, RKO, Universal, Fox, MGM, Paramount, and Warner Brothers all refused to make a deal.
Yeah, those are the big ones.
Meanwhile, IATSE was still working. Like many people did scab, but IATSE was not on strike.
Okay.
Well, yeah, many people did scab. Many people joined CSU in the strike from IATSE, but IATSE was officially still working. They were not on strike, just CSU. Those studios did, however, cut a side deal with IATSE to prevent CSU members from getting jobs on certain sets back once the strike was over.
Okay.
So the IATSE people were taking advantage of this. IATSE went even further to prevent their own members who did go on strike in solidarity from being able to return to their old jobs. So if you took that risk, if you went on that limb, you were cut out.
Wow, that's scary.
Many big name actors also refused to scab, such as Gregory Peck, Lillian Gish, Betty Davis, and Charlie Chaplin. Look at the back of his business card. The last production left running on the Warner Brothers lot was for The Verdict.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of a different Verdict.
But Peter Lorre, he was the star of it. But Peter Lorre was afraid of being labeled as a scab, which he was, so he shut that down as well.
Wow. Okay.
But only out of being afraid of being called a scab, not out of a moral high ground.
I'm sure, like, when they're strikers, it doesn't matter. Your reason that you stopped it was, I'm just like, please stop it.
After waiting weeks.
Oh, I see.
So now most of the major studios in town were being picketed every day by thousands of movie workers, many times joined by workers from Lockheed and students from UCLA, as well as Aldous Huxley, however you pronounce his name. Also Albus
Dumbledore? Yeah.
Apple Dumpling? They'd also picket actual movie theaters and yell spoilers to people buying tickets.
Wow, rude.
Yeah,
rude, dude.
Hey, don't support, because this was when the theaters were owned by the studio, so you're giving them a lot of money. The studios and IATSE, of course, tried to slander the CSU strike, saying that they were communists. And as the strike went on, tension started to rise. A lot of money was being lost, and some of the strikers started losing their homes. And as the days turned into weeks, turned into months, the tension started to bubble over. Physical altercations started happening between strikers and scabs in front of many of the studios. But the biggest one happened October 5th, 1945, or as it's now known, Hollywood Black Friday or Hollywood Bloody Friday or the War for Warner Brothers. The strike had been going on for almost 7 months at this point, and people were frustrated and desperate. CSU wanted to make a big stand this deep into the strike, and the studio they chose to make it at was Warner Brothers, partly because they were one of the strongest studios in town, but also because their head of security was a guy named Blaney Matthews, who fashioned himself a Nazi and would regularly use violence against the picketers.
It's weird. I thought we beat them a few years before this, but
yeah, but we hired their best ones to work at Warner Brothers.
Werner von Braun actually worked for Disney. He did a voice for Mickey Mouse.
It used to be the Werner Brothers. People called him the head of Warner Bros. Private Gestapo.
Oh,
That's how they referred to this
cool.
guy. So on October 5th, strikers started gathering outside of Warner Brothers at 4 a.m., and it was already an unusually hot day.
Okay.
By 5 a.m., there were only 40 strikers. By 6 a.m., there were 300. By 7, there were 750. And by noon, there were 1,000 people striking out front, blocking the entrance to the studio. This was when old Blaney Matthews tried to drive into work. His car was surrounded by strikers, so he got out of the car and was forcing his way into the lot when he got punched in the face.
Wow.
He managed to get into the lot, but his car got flipped on its side by the strikers.
Yeah.
Then they did the same thing to 2 other cars of employees trying to drive in.
Yeah.
Once he was inside the lot, Matthews called the Burbank Police Department for backup, amassed his Warner Brothers studio security force, and then instructed the Warner Brothers Fire Department to turn the fire hoses on the protesters, which they did.
Oh, God.
3 fire hoses were used to sweep the legs of the protesters, and then the security officers got on the roofs of the buildings and started launching tear gas at all the protesters, to which the protesters responded by throwing rocks and bottles back at them.
Good.
Then 54 Burbank Police Department officers showed up who managed to separate the groups to opposite sides of the, it was like Les Miserables. Like there was CSU protesters on one side using the flipped over cars as barricades, studio security, IATSE scabs, and IATSE hired strike-breaking goons from the mob on the other side using flipped over tables as their barricades.
Wild.
But this didn't stop the fighting. Literally hundreds of people were physically fighting in the street using clubs, knives, wrenches, brass knuckles, wooden mallets, battery cables. People had come prepared for this on both sides.
Yeah.
People were knocked to the ground, including women. One guy tried to grab a cop's gun and got pistol whipped.
Whoa.
Another guy swung at a cop and got clubbed into a pulp on the ground. Many people got stabbed. This quickly became too much for the elite forces of both the Warner Brothers security team and the Burbank Police Department combined. So they called both the Glendale Police and the LAPD for backup, who sent in 300 officers that managed to end the fighting and clear everyone out.
That's wild. That is a war. You're describing a battle.
And this happened like near the doghouse. The whole fight lasted about 2 hours and ended miraculously with no deaths, but with 25 people seriously injured. That was the Hollywood Bloody Friday, but it wasn't even close to the end of the story, and it doesn't even have a happy ending.
Oh my God.
The studios had intended to just wait the strikers out, but after what had just happened, they realized that was not going to be so easy.
Yeah.
Completely undeterred by the violence and by the press completely blaming them for what had happened, the strikers were back outside Warner Brothers the following Monday.
Wow.
This time armed with a court order saying the cops couldn't attack them. Warner Brothers also had a court order saying that only 3 strikers could block the gate at a time. This led to October 10th, just 5 days after, when cops surrounded 400 strikers in front of Warner Brothers and read them the Riot Act. The strikers responded by singing the Star Spangled Banner. The cops responded by arresting all of them and took them to Burbank City Jail, where they were all tried in batches by crooked judges.
Wow. That is the power of the studio system.
The power of Burbank.
Power of Burbank PD.
But this still didn't stop them. Later that same week, the strikers were back, which led to another big battle that ended with 39 more people injured. Whoa. It got so intense that some of the scabs who had come onto the lot were too scared to leave and just lived in Warner Brothers.
Wow.
Finally, on October 24th, 400 more protesters were arrested outside of Paramount and RKO, and the two sides at last came to a settlement. Mm-hmm. CSU was given the right to organize set dressers, and this is what they're fighting. Like, it sounds so silly, but it is people's jobs.
Yeah.
CSU was given the right to organize set dressers. IATSE was given basically everybody else.
Okay.
Sorrell and CSU also sued the studios for $3 million in lost profits. Both unions claimed victory. The LA Times claimed it was nobody's victory. But really, it was IATSE's victory. IATSE won this. This was just a temporary Band-Aid for CSU, and they would have to fight for everything going forward, which came to a head again the following July when they had to go on strike again for a 25% pay raise. And then that September, they were locked out of their jobs by the studio over a fight over whether CSU or IATSE had control over, get this, set erections. And let me tell you, nobody controls those. IATSE, in their continued crusade to undermine the CSU, had made a secret deal with the heads of the studios that on September 23rd, 1946, they would essentially fire all CSU carpenters and painters, and then IATSE members would come in and take their spots. This was like their plan. IATSE knew this would lead to a CSU strike, and sure enough, it did. And this strike was even nastier than the last one. The picket lines in front of the studios restarted. The studios were prepared with new court orders limiting the protesters to 8 people blocking the gate at a time. But the strikers got around this by purposely stalling their cars in front of the gate at MGM.
Oh my God.
The cops and Teamsters responded by physically attacking and arresting them. 15 more people were taken to the hospital that day. Many CSU members marched the picket lines in their old World War II uniforms, carrying U.S. flags, chanting, "We fought for our country, now we are fighting for our jobs." Fistfights broke out at MGM. Someone was stabbed at Universal. There was yet another big showdown at Warner Brothers, which was being guarded by 120 LA County deputies at this point.
Oh my God.
Strikers were out in white air raid helmets. Strike breakers drove cars into the crowd.
Jeez.
Cars got overturned again. The fire hoses came out again. One person claimed acid was thrown on them. Scabs were living on the lot for days and entering and exiting through storm drains in the LA River.
Oh my God, they were being parachuted in.
The Burbank Police Department fired shots at the strikers.
Jesus.
The brothers who wrote Casablanca, with the unfortunate name the Epstein Bros, wrote about this, that they should change their slogan from combining good picture making with good citizenship to combining good picture making with good marksmanship. Sorrell, who was still leading all of this, said there may be men hurt, there may be men killed before this is over, but we're in no mood to be pushed around anymore. But things got even nastier. HUAC started targeting CSU members as communists, and Brewer, the head of IATSE, named names against these people. It also caused a rift between CSU and the Screen Actors Guild, which by this point was being run by Ronald Reagan, the president.
The president?
Up to a certain point, Reagan was kind of liberal, always ready to name names, but still a little bit more liberal than what we knew. But he supported IATSE in this because he just wanted work to resume. So he encouraged members of SAG to scab against CSU just so work would continue. But because of this, Ronald Reagan got a death threat. So Blaney Matthews, the Nazi head of security at WB, gave Reagan a permit to be able to carry a Smith & Wesson around the lot for protection. But this whole event is credited by people as what marked Ronald Reagan's turn into the hard right wing.
Wow.
But he wasn't the only one getting death threats. Jack Warner got letters at his house getting threats that he and his whole family would be killed and their bones would be scattered around a golf course, complete with a map of the golf course marked where each bone was going to be buried.
We planned it. We asked the golf course if it was okay, and they said yes.
And this one we call a skull and one. Then things got even worse when the houses of 5 different IATSE members were bombed.
Whoa.
Obviously, the CSU was blamed, but Sorrell denied any involvement and said it was actually the studios doing this to make the CSU look bad.
Okay.
In either case, it looked bad.
Yeah.
Like it did not look good. So not long after this, 700 protesters were arrested in front of Columbia, which was one of the biggest mass arrests in California history.
Wow.
The plan of IATSE and the studio heads with all this was to draw this out as long as possible and slowly weaken the CSU.
Sure.
And it worked. This strike lasted 13 months until December 1948, with $17 million in wages lost. CSU finally compromised and caved into the demands of the studios being manipulated by IATSE. This was the last time a major movie crew union went on strike, and it was essentially the end of CSU.
Wow.
They had lost most of their contracts, and many members figured if you can't beat them, join them. So they jumped ship and joined IATSE, and by 1952, CSU no longer existed.
That's crazy.
All of this led to the passing of the Taft-Hartley Act, which greatly weakened unions throughout the entire country and helped launch Ronald Reagan, the head of SAG, to becoming president of the United States and appointed the crooked head of IATSE, Roy Brewer, as head of the Federal Service Impasses Panel, which handled negotiations between the U.S. government and, you guessed it, striking federal unions.
Oh, my God.
So really, this was not a victory for unions or America and was emblematic of the attitude studios have had towards their employees since the beginning and has only intensified over the years, as we saw with the strikes a few years ago. IATSE is no longer crooked. IATSE is good now.
Yeah. That's what their website said.
We're only controlled by the mafia now. They narrowly avoided a strike 5 years ago when the brighter stuff was going on.
Yeah.
But their next negotiation is next year, which I'm sure the head of the one mega studio that will remain by then will be totally generous in. But yeah, that's Hollywood.
I had no idea.
Neither did I. And it's crazy to think like this was happening in Burbank.
Yeah, exactly. Burbank in the 40s, like when they were making cartoons.
Yeah, it got really, I mean,
that's wild.
Yeah, it really is a repeat of what we are constantly going through now.
Time is a flat windmill.
Time is a cheese Danish. You're right. So that was part one of our Everything Must Go.
And boy, we brought it out this time.
We brought it out. This is a long one. Maybe one of our longest ones. But hey, guess what?
Do something.
Wear me out for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
And then I'm retired. Yeah. I'm never editing again.
Rocking chair.
Except for the
Candy
constant Candy is Dandy that's going to be edited. But yeah, we'll have even more topics that we've always wanted to do in the next one. But before we have our listener question, we have our pre-listener question. Oh, sorry, Phantom.
He also sneezed.
Phantom woke up. So again, send us your questions, your final comments for us to read in our last episode. la.meekly@gmail.com, Instagram la_meekly, lameeklypodcast.com. Whatever you want to know about us, about LA history, about the show.
Yeah.
We're an open book.
Yeah, we're open robed.
We're an open robe. We're Hugh Hefner's open robe. So now we have our listener question.
Okay.
This one is from our Patreon pal, Bunny Howell.
Hi, Bunny.
Who still might be a Bunnicula. I don't know.
We never checked. We
didn't check her Bunnicula passport. My favorite thing about LA is the car culture, and it got me thinking about a question for you. What are your current daily drivers? And if money was not an issue, what are your dream cars? So both of us were confused by this. Did she misspell drives, or is she really cool and call drivers cars?
I think that she's really cool.
I think she's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know my famous lowrider.
Yeah,
my 2006, 2000. It might be 2000. I'll be generous and say it's a 2007 Honda Civic Hybrid.
Okay, which
I had the splatter shield underneath it came loose long ago, and I kept having to tuck it in. And then finally, because it kept dragging when I was driving everywhere, and finally, they just ripped it out of the, they were like, you know what, we can't fix this. We're just going to take it off. And I was like, is it a problem? I'm like, nah, probably not. And then like a year later, all this water got up there and short circuited my whole car. But when I got that repaired, it seemed they put another one on and that then started dragging. So the other day outside of the Nethercutt Museum, where some of the most expensive, beautiful cars in the world are 10 feet away, I was digging under my car, pulling a tray of plastic out so it wouldn't drag.
I'll show them.
I'll show you, Ford.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm driving.
What's your dream car?
I don't really care about cars. I mean, to be honest, some of these cars at the Nethercutt Museum, even though they're the size of like 4 boats lashed together, it would be pretty cool to drive some of those. But I just want a car I want an electric car that I have to charge like once every 3 months.
Okay.
I don't really, I would like it to be like the Minority Report cars where you just got like, you're basically sitting in a living room and it does all the driving for you. But as long as, if I can just charge a car once every 3 months and it costs me like $20, I'm happy. Okay. I don't care what it could be the Oscar. I mean, of course I want to drive the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, but.
Did I tell you I saw that at the Sony lot?
Get out.
I saw it.
Greg.
In person. I put my hand on it.
I got its autograph. It drove over a piece of paper for me.
It whispered something in my ear, but it was anti-Semitic, so I can't repeat it.
Can't repeat it here. What are you driving? What's your driver, Greg?
My driver, I for years was driving my 2003 Chevy S10, which is a little truck, which I love. Yeah. But because I had a long drive ahead of me, I inherited my Uncle Mondo's 2017.
So many Mondos in your family.
I maybe have 4. 2017 Toyota Corolla, which is lovely, a great speedster car.
You've got the fastest
car as I've ever had.
You've got a very reliable car.
I have got a
car. I will be shocked
I will be shocked because it's short circuited.
I will be shocked next rainstorm. Let's see what's going to end first, my car or Ellie Meekly.
Okay.
Because we've got 3 months of Ellie Meekly. Is my car going to make it? I'll keep you updated.
You're living a Greg situation right now.
Because also the dashboard lost all of its lights, so I can't see.
Oh my God.
And also the catalytic converter light came on, but it keeps going off. So what's your dream car?
I got a couple answers for that. I would like the George Barris 1960s Batmobile.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking Batmobile would be cool. But I hear they lose their wheels.
At Christmas time, they do. I've been looking at a 1972 Datsun pickup truck, which I think is pretty neat. But I also wanted like a 60s station wagon. I saw whatever, like, I think it's a Rambler that's parked at California Adventure with a canoe on top. That I would like that too.
I'd like to drive the Binford Tool Time van. Yeah, I mean, my dream car was so practical of like, that's what I really would want is a self-driving electric car I rarely have to put any effort into.
Okay.
But like, there were some really cool cars at the NetherCon. Like some of the cars from like 1915 that literally are horseless carriages. Like they're huge and they're like cushioned, and they, instead of like they have like curtains and like a tassel you pull for the curtain. Like that would be pretty cool to drive around.
You're literally describing the cars I see Jay Leno drive around Burbank.
There was so much Jay Leno in that museum.
I bet there was.
You could see scraps of denim against all the cars. But there wasn't, one of these cars from like 1910 was an electric car.
Wow.
And it did look crazy. So maybe I'll choose that one.
Yeah. It's Tesla's car.
It was
literally Nikola Tesla's car.
It was a Tesla.
It was a Tesla, sure. Yeah.
So that was some always wanted to do stories. And hey, a happy April Fool's Day, everybody. We really didn't address that much.
No.
You are the fool for listening to such a long episode.
Yeah.
But
silly.
We'll
silly
see you in May.
May I?
Maybe. May they won't. May they shan't they? I think I just heard Jay Leno's car drive by. A really loud sound.
I heard a wooga from miles away.
I heard a so yeah, we'll see you in May. And hey, that's been another episode of Ellie Meekly.
Is that a porno?
Is this a porno? Is this a porno? Has this been a porno?
Full penetration. Is this a porno?
Is this one of those Swedish films?
Is this how French is this movie?
Since 2013.